Hey, I ain't wearing pants.
Yeah!
In my boxers, all right? And
Pants are for posers.
I am Dr. Fuck. And with me is
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah! Wadzilla, baby. What's up, Ralph? How you doing?
how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty fucking good.
I got
Pretty fucking good.
I got a new look, if you haven't noticed. I have,
Yeah.
I have a mustache now.
Yeah, very distinguished.
I will shave it off soon because I'm looking at myself and I go, wow, I look like that tone deaf singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I need to
Hey.
shave this shit quick. So this will be the only episode you see me with a stupid mustache.
Fucking Ralph Keatis over here.
It's almost like a 70s porn.
What you gotta get? You gotta get a razor.
I shaved today. I shaved, I was growing a beard and I shaved it all up.
Yeah.
And I was going to shave my mustache, but I said, hey, you know what? No, I'm going to do a show tonight. Let me do the show with the mustache and then I'll shave this shit off tomorrow.
How about some mutton chops, man? I think you could rock some mutton chops.
I used to have mutton chops.
No shit.
Oh yeah. I had them all the way up to here.
Nice.
Maybe I'll do that again. The weird thing is that I got a white beard, but yet my mustache is still black. Ain't that weird? And my soul patch. I do not dye this shit.
Yeah.
My soul patch and mustache is all black, but when I grow here and down here, it's all white.
But you're dyeing the hair, right? That's some Grecians for men.
I'm not dyeing the hair either. There is a lot of white,
Ah,
but you can't really notice.
ah,
No, I haven't dyed my hair since I left the Guns N' Roses chick.
ah.
It was her who would dye my hair and my beard. It was her. When I had
Yeah,
that just for men look that I didn't like, it was because
yeah.
I was a pussy whip bitch.
My wife has asked me a couple of times to, dye my. She goes, "Honey, you're getting a lot of grays." I'm like, "Yeah, cause of you." Just kidding, honey. But I don't mind gray. Fuck it, man. I earned all this gray. God damn it. I'm
Yeah,
a survivor.
yeah. When I first started Thrasher Die, my guitar player Willie, that guy.
Yeah.
I like him now. Me and him are good friends because we're not really working with each other, so we get along that way. But when he was in my band, he was a young kid. He was like maybe 24 or something. And he would say, man, I can't wait till I get whites. I want white hair. I want. And now he's almost 40 and he's like, fuck, man, I got to get rid of these whites. Now he hates them.
Yeah. I heard he was transitioning into white.
He's actually, man, believe it or not, he was such a fuck up. And now it's been like 3-4 years now. He's been with the same chick, loves her, they have kids, and doing really good.
Oh shit. Oh
He's
shit.
totally changed. Yeah, he's got 2 kids.
Holy fuck.
And he married some chick that can play Diary of a Madman note for note. That girl's a sick guitar player. I've known her for years because she used to be in a band called Blowtorch Sodomy.
Nice.
But
Well, it's like I always said, Randy Rhoads. So easy a woman could play it.
oh, she's a maniac on guitar, man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's killer.
That's the deal with that. Let me turn on my light.
All right. Turn on your love light.
Still got my boxers on.
Yeah. And a kitty blanket behind you. Meow.
Oh.
I'm liking the crocus shirt. That's pretty hot.
Yeah, Headhunter. It's got
The
a
best album.
I don't know if you can see the back.
Oh, I saw it for a second. Looks killer though.
Yeah, this was the Crocus shirt they sold when I bought it at the Def Leppard show back in the Pyromania tour, but that shirt is long gone. But then I found this online with the back. It's an identical shirt. I was like, oh
That's cool.
man, that crocus shirt I used to have. Let me get it again.
Right on. Right on. We need to do another Crokes. I think we did Headhunter. I think we did Headhunter. We need to do
Shout
change of
out.
address.
I want to give a shout out to Wilson in Chicago. You rule, my friend.
Wilson.
Wilson.
So, yeah, from Chicago, from Chi-Town. A bunch of my friends went and saw Metallica in Chicago, and I heard it was a pretty good show.
I sell a lot on eBay, and I still sell, believe it or not, Thrasher Died CDs and shirts. And I'm always at the post office, and I've become friendly with one of the post office guys, and he was going. He said,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah?
travel wherever the fuck to see Metallica and Pantera next week," and he told me that last week. So yeah,
Nice.
he went. So when he gets back, I'll get the report from him. I told him stick around for Wolfgang. I go, dude, go early. Believe me, Wolfgang is amazing live. You know, his albums may not be good, but he's good live.
Yeah, I've seen some footage. Well, I should say I've seen photos of footage. I haven't watched any of it to listen, but yeah, not too many people turning out for Wolfgang, and that sucks.
Yeah, it's sad because he's good.
Yeah, but I can kind of see it, especially with the show these days. Like you go into a fucking show and it's like fucking $12 to $18 a fucking beer. You're probably gonna hang out in the parking lot as long as you can, before you go. I mean, fuckers ain't missing Pantera, you know. But when you go into big shows like that and you're paying those kind of fucking prices, I'm excited. I'm going to a show this coming Friday, and it's at a dive bar, and I'm like fucking A right, and it'll probably still be too much in my opinion for beer. And no beer should be over $2. I'm sorry, somebody's getting fucked if they're charging more than $2. That's what I think.
I'm going to see Deep Purple on Wednesday.
Oh, you motherfucker! Right on. Who they playing with?
Yes.
Oh, nice, nice. I mean, I don't know who the fuck's in Yes anymore. I think just
I don't even.
fucking Steve. I think it's Steve Howe's the only
I'm not
one
a
that's
fan of
left.
Yes. I only like the song Changes, but I am going to go early to check them out.
Yeah. I don't believe they play any of the 80s like Yes.
Yeah, I want to hear Changes. That's the only song I like from them.
Yeah, that was there's all these distinctive eras of Yes, and that is the Trevor Rabin era. And I don't think Steve Howe likes that shit too much. So since he's the only guy, you might get on Owner of a Lonely Heart. I don't know. He might like bend to that one. But fucking Deep Purple. Man, I saw some footage because you told me they were playing
The
what's
last
fucking
song.
awesome. Yeah, Bloody whatever. Bloody Bloody. So they were playing that, and I was like, oh man, I got to see footage of that. And I saw this footage, and musically it was awesome, and there was no vocals.
Stop right there, Ian. You said this story last week.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Go check out last week's episode for the rest of that story if you haven't heard it.
I got a text about last week's episode, and Richard Cannemere, and he was telling me, he goes, "Oh my God, Ralph had me dying, talking about the Flotsam and Jetsam chick," and I was like,
Flotsam and Jetsam chick.
"Yeah, that's what he said." I was like, "I don't remember."
I don't
was like,
know either. I know. Oh yeah, the girl that I met at the show and had sex with.
Drawing a blank.
Dude, yeah, because you were drunk. What we were talking about, I picked up a girl at the Flotsam and Jetsam show. I took her to my house. I banged her, and in the morning, when I took her to Dunkin' Donuts and shit, she was telling me how she gave head to Eric AK.
Oh yeah. Okay, it's all coming back to me now.
That's
Yeah, he
funny.
texted me.
That's not funny. That's hot.
He said he was crying, laughing, listening to the show. I was like, awesome. Glad you enjoy it. So he's coming to Rockin' Pod this year.
Right on.
So that's going to be awesome. And I was thinking about next week's show already, because next week I kind of got like a busy weekend, and So to like study or prepare for an episode, we should just do a live show next week. What do you
All
think?
right, yeah, live on YouTube.
Yeah. So, when you guys get in this episode, get your questions ready and we'll do a live show. There you go. No brainer. Don't have to study, just have to drink. I love it. I love it. So what else going on? Deep Purple coming up. You got anything else? Anything else on the book? What about King Diamond? You going to King Diamond?
No, it's too far, man.
Oh, what's the closest to you? What is it, Tampa?
St. Augustine, way past Tampa.
Ooh, yeah, way up on the East Coast.
Yeah, I'm like, nah. I did go to St. Augustine to see the 9 tour. So I did go over there to see King Diamond. Yeah. But if it was down here, I'd go. If it was West Palm Beach, I'd go. Maybe even Orlando, I'd go. But fuck.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's them, it's Overkill, and it's Night Demon. 3 bands I've seen a bunch of times. So it's like, I'm not gonna drive back from that show going, wow, that was the best time I've seen all those bands.
Yeah.
King Diamond's never gonna top the In the Shadows tour. He's never gonna top when I saw them. And I thought Abigail was great, but them was even better. But he's never gonna top those shows. Overkill will never top anything without Bobby Gustafson. And maybe Night Demon could. Maybe they can top it. All their performances because it's a very important tour. To get their name out there, they gotta kick some ass.
Oh yeah, I mean, fuck that King Diamond show I saw, and it's scary to think how long ago that was. Now I think it was like what fucking 2015 when he did his last tour, the Abigail. He was doing all that shit. But goddamn, he was good. He was so good. That was King Diamond and Exodus.
Yeah, I know King will be great. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
too far, man. And I'm old.
Yeah.
You were talking about Metallica earlier. I don't want to see Metallica. I don't want to go to no stadium show. I don't care if Pantera is there or Wolfgang. I don't want to go to no stadium show. I'm too old for that shit now.
Yeah. Well, and what people might not understand is just how far St. Augustine is from fucking Miami.
It's like 7 hours.
Yeah, Florida's a long fucking state, people. That's a long fucking drive.
It takes me almost 10 hours to get out of Florida. If I go straight out.
Yeah.
I've done it a million times. I've toured many times, so I know it takes, many, many hours. I mean, our last tour, our gig was in Atlanta, and we stopped in Jacksonville. I said, dude, we're getting a hotel in Jacksonville. Fuck this going to Atlanta shit. This is too much. And Jacksonville's like a good 8 hours.
Yeah. Well, most bands either start or finish their tours in Florida, for that reason. And there's no other stateside, you got water surrounding you,
We get lucky when we get South Florida shows because, dude, it's poser central down
here. Yeah. You get like Man of War and shit like that.
We only got Man of War one time, and it was a terrible show. It was horrible. It was really bad. They fucking treated us like shit. They were going through the motions. It's like, fuck Man of War. But I would totally go see Man of War in Germany where they rule and play stadiums.
Yeah. But you wouldn't drive to St. Augustine, would you?
No. Fuck, I won't go see Man of War in America at all. At all. They don't like America. They like the true metal. And America's not true metal, in case you haven't noticed.
What?
Fucking country's full of fucking posers.
Hurricane Alice is from America.
All right, there's exceptions. Hurricane Alice and Shark Island.
What the fuck? I was talking to Sinzak the other day. Forget what the fuck we were talking about. Oh, I was trying to get him to come on the Sonic Boom episode. And he was talking about some song off of that he named some shitty band that did a cover of one of the songs that was on there, and he said he liked that version better. It was like some Rhino Bucket or It wasn't that, but it was like a band about that fucking obscure. I was like, I like the original by Hurricane Alice. He's about the only one. I actually saw Hurricane Alice. Yeah, you're right. Fuck America. That shit was terrible.
I'm gonna be on Decibel Geek soon.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
we're recording it on Tuesday, so I don't know when it'll be out.
Right on.
And the subject is the worst Black Sabbath song off each album. Which it's not really worse. It's all right. There's a song I love, but I like the other songs more, type of thing. Until we get to fucking the last two albums. Yeah, those songs suck that I don't like off those two albums. Off Technical and Never Say Die.
Are you including The Devil You Know?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if we're going after the original 70s. I don't know. We'll find out.
Oh, you're just doing 70s Sabbath.
I think. I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
We'll have fun. Yeah, I'm supposed to guess with Sinzak's doing this thing, getting everybody hyped up for Rockin' Pod. And I'm supposed to go on there and, tell my Rockin' Pod memories. Like, how the fuck I'm so drunk I don't remember this shit. I think it was fun. It was funny, though, seeing people picture. There's been all this stuff on the Rockin' Pod Facebook page from the different Rockin' Pods. And it was the 2001 or 2000, whatever the one was that I never even made it inside the Rockin' Pod. You know, the one where we were in the separate room recording and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never even went into the other room. Didn't have time. We did so many fucking that was the most interviews we ever did. That was that sucked.
I hated it.
Yeah. I had a good time, don't get me wrong, we had fun. But
yeah, except for the interviews. I hated it.
Yeah.
Everything else was fine.
Yeah. But so that'll be fun. But yeah, that's a good. But Jesus, shitty Sabbath songs. It's hard to pick from the 70s.
No, I'm just telling you, the last two albums have shitty songs, I think. Technical and Never Say Die.
I don't know. There's. I would say there's a shitty one on Sabotage.
I love Am I Going Insane Radio, if that's the one.
You knew it. You knew it.
Yeah, that's what most people hate. I hated it too. When I was a little kid, the first Black Sabbath album I bought with my own money was We Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll. And the only song from Sabotage on that album was Am I Going Insane?
Yeah.
And I hated it. And I was like, fuck that. And I avoided Sabotage.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
And then I heard Symptom of the Universe on Speak of the Devil. And I was like, fuck, really? That's on Sabotage? All right, I'll buy it. And then it blew my mind how good that album is.
Yeah. I always get amazed when Ozzy, says they totally lost their way after Volume 4. Like, God damn, how do you discount fucking...
No,
Sabbath?
He said Sabbath Bloody Sabbath.
It's after Sabbath Bloody Sabbath? Yeah, but how do you shit on Sabotage?
And there's people out there there's shirts out there that say you can only trust the first 5 Black Sabbath albums. I go, are you fucking high? How can you love Sabbath Bloody Sabbath and not Sabotage? I mean, you must be on crack like Ozzy to think that.
Right.
But I can't understand. I can understand Never Say Die and Technogravity. I can understand that, but Sabotage still has that fire. And Ozzy is a little bit even better on Sabotage and he's insane on Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. But Sabotage to me is Ozzy at his peak.
I would agree. But man, I'm just sitting here thinking God, what would I pick for the worst on Technical? Because I do love Technical. The stuff I love, I really love.
There's 2 songs I hate on that album.
I think I would have to go, and I know the one that you're probably gonna pick, but I like that song. I would probably have to go with Rock and Roll Doctor. Never liked Rock and Roll Doctor.
Rock and Roll Doctor's the worst song. I would have said She's Gone is the worst song,
Yeah.
but I love the Steve Wilson remix of it.
Yeah. Oh man, I'd tell you that those Steve Wilson remixes
Yeah,
are
but
fucking incredible.
yeah, but he couldn't fix Rock and Roll Doctor. Let me tell you.
Mm-mm. No, that's just that's them trying to be somebody else.
And man, when I saw the Born Again tour with Ian Gillan, I was lucky enough to see that. They played Rock and Roll Doctor.
And the fucked up thing is I can kind of see it because it's so
Rock and
different.
Roll.
Yeah. But oh boy, I'd be pissed if I was on it. Like really?
Yeah,
Really?
I was pissed, but then they made it up to me because later in the set they played Supernova.
Yeah.
And that was the only time I've seen them do Supernova.
How did that sound? Like, I mean, I've only heard shitty
great. It's
bootlegs. Did he do it? I mean, live when you're actually there? Did it justice?
Man. And you can hear a real good live recording of it on the Born Again, the release that they released like 10 years ago. It breaks live at Reading, and that sounds good.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've heard like I don't think I've listened to the version that comes with the remastered because I had the bootleg for years and was just so disappointed by the sound quality. I was more into like I wanted to hear what they're gonna do with Born Again, and I'm really excited. I mean, I know I fully accept that I love Born Again like it is now, but I could only imagine what Steve Wilson could do to that motherfucker. You know, that I mean, please get him. You know, if they are going to go forward with this, you know, I think it'd be killer.
Yeah,
Man, you're going to see Deep Purple. That's fucking awesome. I hope you get to hear like a decent amount of songs from it too, man. I'd be happy.
I'd be happy if they play the whole fucking album, then end the set.
Oh yeah,
Smoke on the Water, and I can go.
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
You know,
I saw.
You know how they're billing this tour?
How's that?
50 years of Smoke on the Water.
Ugh.
I know, right?
Ugh. Yeah. Well, ain't that America?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the name of the tour in America only.
Yeah.
America sucks.
I saw somebody post, I can't remember if it was on our YouTube page or on our Facebook page. They're like, you guys are all on crack. That album sucks. The new Deep Purple.
Oh, whatever.
They're like, Ian sounds like shit. It's funny. I think it was on the...
There's never something that gets released where everybody loves it.
Right.
You're always going to have that one guy. And you know, it's like, look, I don't like the new Deep Purple. But to say you guys are saying, no, you know what? You're a little touchy bitch. I'm sorry. You know? Seriously, you're touchy. You know, because if you tell me Sonic Boom is great, hey, I don't give a fuck you think that. You know? And he probably does think Sonic Boom is great.
Speaking of touchy bitches, I loved reading the comments on for the Sonic Boom. And again, it just disgusts me to the core how good that Sonic Boom episode's doing. It's like it's not only a Kiss album, but a horrible Kiss album. But man, people turn out in droves. And the fucking Kiss twats that are so mad at me for saying that, you know, Tommy does Ace better than Ace. Oh my God, you can tell I kicked him right in the vagina.
They're all sensitive bitches. I disagree with you, but I don't give a fuck what you think, because after all, you don't like toxic.
Yeah.
You don't like violence. You don't like shit I love. So I understand when you say stuff that I don't agree with. It's kind of like, I take it with a grain of salt, whatever. Hey, Ian thinks that, but I don't give a fuck. Let them think it.
Yeah.
Let them think Blackmore sucks. Let them think all that shit. I don't give a fuck.
I like one guy put, with Ian's fucking logic, how is Diary of a Madman his favorite Ozzy album and not Ultimate Sin? And I love Ultimate Sin, but
he does have a point.
No, he doesn't, because nobody likes Thank God for the Bomb. I don't like every song on Ultimate Sin. I just like a lot of it. Nuke ya.
God. That album sucks.
Ah, shit. I should probably go pee. Why don't you talk to these good people? Tell them what's up.
All right.
Tell them where they can get a Crocus shirt. I'll be right back.
Got it on eBay. Yeah, yeah. Well, either there or Amazon Prime or Amazon. I got the Amazon Prime, man. What was I watching yesterday on Amazon Prime? Documentary on Abbott and Costello. I love Abbott and Costello. So I watched the documentary on Abbott and Costello. And goddamn, that movie. I own it on Blu-ray, believe it or not. What's the point of owning an Abbott and Costello movie on Blu-ray, really? But hey, it looks good. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. It's a fucking masterpiece. I remember when I was a little kid, and they were, because on weekends it was, I think, either Saturday or Sunday, they'd have Abbott and Costello Theater, and they'd always show an Abbott and Costello movie. And I liked most of them. I'm not saying they were all, but when they would show Frankenstein, I was like, ooh, yeah. I was a little kid, man. Back then, I didn't. I was like maybe like 7 to 10. I was really into that. You know what I was really into as a kid, Ian?
What's that?
Abbott and Costello.
Love Abbott and Costello.
Abbott and Costello are fucking awesome.
Much better than Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah, I couldn't get into Laurel and Hardy. Back in the day, in Hialeah, Florida, there was an awesome pizzeria called Figaro's. And my parents would take me, and we'd eat pizza there, and they'd have a projector, old school projector. This is the 70s, by the way, showing like Three Stooges, Little Rascals. But when they would show Laurel and Hardy, I would never laugh. I didn't like them.
No, Abbott and Costello, and it's funny because I think probably, kids like me who grew up in the 80s with a dick in our mouth, we're probably the last generation, when you had just, a few channels on TV, and Saturdays you would see shit like that, like the old Abbott and Costello shit. You would see reruns of the Three Stooges and Little Rascals. And, my dad was a big fan of the East Side Boys or whatever.
Yeah, with Rick Nielsen. You're talking about the guy who looked like Rick Nielsen.
Oh yeah. You're absolutely right. They were called the Dead End Kids for a while, like the East Side Gang or something like that. But man, I used to watch those movies on Saturdays, and I loved them. And it was weird. It was different. It was black and white. You had to get used to it. But kids these days got too used
to it. I remember black and white. When I was a little kid in Terrytown, we didn't even own a color TV. Yeah. But I remember it when color was kind of new. It's like, oh, this show's on, like Batman. This show's in color.
Yeah, in color.
I believe even the early Flintstones were black and white. Did you know? Here's a little trivia for you. The Flintstones were in Hialeah.
No, I did not know that.
True story. I got the story wrong all my life. I always thought it was Fred Flintstone going through a photo album, and he goes, and here we are at the Hialeah horse track. And then Hialeah horse track is very famous. Remember the movie The Champ?
Yeah.
Schroeder? That was a lot of that was filmed in Hialeah horse track. Anyway, I got it wrong. Somebody I wrote about on Facebook. God, I remember this, and I can't find it anywhere. Some motherfucker found it, and it was actually Wilma going through the photo album. Here we are at the Hialeah horse track. I always thought it was, but yeah, that's. And I lived in Hialeah when I saw that episode. I was like, holy shit! I live in Hialeah.
I've been to Hialeah with you.
Were you? No, you weren't. Oh yeah, you were.
Yeah, you took me to that restaurant in Hialeah. Yeah. We went there for breakfast.
That Spick restaurant.
There was a few of them.
Yeah.
But hey, my buddy's a Spick, so watch what you say. So, what do we got here now? Let's go into the news, shall
All right. Uh-oh.
we? Let's see
All
if
right.
anything's fucking going. And
Froze for a second.
anything we. What's that?
You're good now, but you froze for a second.
Okay. Rad Stephen Piercy says he's not bothered by the hair metal label. I embraced the tag 40 years later. Do you think hair metal is derogatory, Ralph?
No. People like Eddie Trunk are so anal. I don't like them being called hair metal. They are hair metal. Come on. Hey, look, I
Yeah.
love Rat. And when I got into Rat the first time, it wasn't called hair metal back. Well, it wasn't called hair metal till the 90s, really. But
Yeah.
I really don't think Rat was really a hair metal band. I don't think Docking was really a hair metal band. And I don't even think Motley Crue was a hair metal band until 85. Then they turned
Yeah.
into a hair metal band. I mean,
Yeah.
Nikki Sixx, like I saw this interview not too long ago about Nikki Sixx, him complaining. Oh, it was one of those 94 interviews when he's trying to distance himself
Oh, God.
from
Yeah.
Motley Crue. And he goes, yeah, when we had Raging Slab, and I was at that show when I saw Dr. Feelgood tour, Raging Slab open. And he said, we had Raging Slab open for us, and everybody hated it. And I thought they were awesome. I was like, yeah, look, I'm one of them that hated it. I thought they were fucking horrible. So then, this is the only thing I regret. My management talked me into taking Warrant on tour. And I'm like, what the fuck is different than a Warren album and Dr. Feelgood? Seriously, what's different? A Warren album had Uncle Tom's Cabin, which I liked. Dr. Feelgood, the song Dr. Feelgood, I liked. The rest is like a Warren album.
That's a terrible thing to say about Warrant. I think Cherry Pie is a better fucking album than Dr. Feelgood.
Well, it has a better song, Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Raging Slab. I know of them. I don't know if I've ever heard it.
They were shitty, man. It was like kind of southern rockish, but
that's what I thought. Weren't they were like a piss poor like a retarded AC/DC like fucking what's that lumberjack band Jackal?
Yeah, Jackal. Dude, they were like a bad version of Galactic Cowboys.
Woo! Boy, that was a rough one. Galactic Cowboys. Holy shit. Holy shit. But yeah, the hair metal term, that doesn't bother me. I do think there are bands that unfairly got lumped in. Everybody talks about, Cinderella, like Cinderella's so good, but yeah, they look stupid on the first album. But hey, they dress like that. When I think of a band that's unfairly lumped, would be like Tesla, because Tesla never dressed like that ever. But they were of the same era.
They had the power ballad.
Yeah, I mean they had the ballads, but they never dressed like that. They always wore street clothes. They never really changed their sound. They stayed true, but they're from that era, so everybody from that era kind of gets lumped in, for the most part. But fuck it. I mean, when I think of hair metal, I really think of that shit starting with Bon Jovi and Poison. Yeah. And then everybody who came after that. When I think of hair metal, I think of Tough, shit like that. Hurricane Alice, stuff like that. I'm still old enough to remember, like you said, Motley Crue, Twisted Sister, Doc, and it wasn't considered hair metal,
Considered heavy metal.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely going more commercial, but yeah, it was still heavy metal. But yeah, it doesn't matter. It just matters to Eddie Trunk. Poor guy. Paul Diano's got an upcoming documentary, and he says he's going through a whole lot of emotions with this documentary. And I gotta say something here. Holy mastacholi. I was surprised. I watched your video a couple days ago. I'm driving home. I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I do. I watch videos while I'm driving. I'm that good a driver. And I got a Volvo. It's a very safe car. But I was watching your review of the Paul Paul Di'Anno's new album, Warhorse. Ooh. I'm surprised you liked it. I really thought you was gonna like shit all over that.
I thought some songs were terrible, but not all
Yeah, I was, man, I was looking forward to. I love Paul Di'Anno's voice, and I know enough about his solo career that, man, it could go any way. He's done some heavy shit. He's done some light shit. You know, he's done all kinds of stuff. Um, I don't know. Maybe I got to give it another listen to. But I was excited. Like, you know, when I got it, I was like, oh, all right, cool, new Paul Di'Anno. And I was like, ooh. And I'm not like, I don't think he's bad. I just found it generic, kind of. But what do I know? I like Children of Madness, you know.
that. You like Bang Tank?
I like one song, Linkin Park Boy. But
Hey,
goddamn, do I love that song.
my favorite Paul Di'Anno's Anarchy of Chaos. Not a lot of people know about that band.
Anarchy of Chaos.
I'm sorry, Architect of Chaos.
That's the name of the band or the album?
The band.
I don't know if I have that one. What do you time frame?
That's
Is this like, but
yeah.
is this around the time of like Paul Di'Anno's Killers kind of shit, or?
Yeah, Nomad around there.
Yeah, I was really disappointed. Nomad, yeah, that was like mid '80s, right?
No, I think that was 90s.
Nomad.
Yeah.
I thought that was like right after that Googa Moog shit he did.
No, right after Googa Moog was Battlezone.
Yeah, I like Battlezone.
Battlezone was great.
Yeah, I love the Children of Madness, and I love that. Like, I don't want to know and shit. And it's more like commercial for him, but I thought he sounded great
that was
on
the
it.
only commercial song on the album, and it's a good song.
Yeah, yeah, uh, yeah. I thought Nomad was mid '80s. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I wasn't thrilled. Maybe I need to give it another listen to. Uh, and there was one song on there. It was kind of a ballady song, or it started out ballady, and I thought there was points where like his voice sounded strong. You know, I think it was just the songwriting, but I think Paul just needs a good, you know, co-writer. You know, somebody to work with and bring out the best in him. And I don't know if these two guys. I don't know. Maybe I just need to listen to it again. But yeah, I really thought you were going to hate it, but you didn't. So there you go. And what's going on? Is there still a chance we're interviewing him, or what's going on? You don't know?
I don't know.
Would love to talk to that guy, man. No filter on that motherfucker, and I respect that. You know. All right, what else we got here? Tom G. Warrior, otherwise known as Tom Gabriel Fisher, says he's talked to ex-Celtic Frost drummer Reed St. Mark about playing together again.
Oh, please, God, bring Celtic Frost back. I mean, yeah, it sucks without Martin, but fuck, man, do I love it.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on that, man. Because how do you do Celtic Frost without Martin?
Well, they did, and it sucked.
Yeah, I mean, I like Triptychon.
Yeah, I like it too, but I like to me, man, it's a Megatherion. That
Yeah,
fucking masterpiece. I mean, a masterpiece. I love Emperor's Return. I even love
right.
Pandemonium, which I saw that tour. They opened for Anthrax and Exodus. Among the Living, Pleasures of the Flesh, into Pandemonium. And oddly enough, they played really long for an opening band. They did a lot of fucking into Megatherion. It was awesome. What a band, man. And when they reunited in the late what was it? 2007?
Early 2000s, I thought.
No, it was a little later, around 2007. I know.
No.
Yeah, because I was dating a poser chick. And I took her to the show, and she fucking went out and took pictures in the patio while Celtic Frost was playing, and I dumped her soon after that. I didn't dump her because she was a poser chick. I dumped her because she became a pain in the ass. But yeah, it was 2007, 2008. It had to be.
Well, apparently I saw him and don't even fucking remember, which sucks. A lot of
Overkill
times drinking.
typo.
Yeah, and my buddy's like, "No, dude, we saw that." I was like, "We did? Fuck."
I went to that for Celtic Frost when they were king with typo.
Yeah,
I do
but
it.
I think I mean that was early 2000s because fuck, I mean
No, man.
it wasn't.
That was even after that 2007 show. It was either 2007 or 2008.
It's all a blur, man. It's all a blur. A lot of shows.
Because you get drunk. You get too drunk. I don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and basically what I'm getting at with this though is, I'm all for him like getting together with Reed St. Mark and shit, but I mean, Celtic Frost was him and Martin, and that's who writes it. Reed St. Mark ain't writing that shit. I mean, to me, that's more of a photo op than somebody that you're going to create music that's going to sound like Celtic Frost.
Get back together. I want to see him again. Don't jinx
Okay.
it.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying, I'd be happy to see like Triptychon do a set where they play all Celtic Frost.
They've done that.
Yeah, I know, but I've never seen it. I'd like to see it because I like Triptychon as well. I like it better than that Apollon Sun. Did you ever check that out?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, not as good. Not as good. Here's a band. I'm curious to see what you think of these guys because a lot of people like these fuckers, and I don't know. Opeth, you like that shit?
I love old Opeth. I heard he's bringing the growls back. Like the new Opeth's got that death metal shit again.
Yeah.
When they abandoned that, I abandoned them. I mean, I thought
What?
up to Deliverance, my favorite Blackwater Park, but up to Deliverance, and I did listen to every release after that, and it just wasn't working for me. So I heard their new album. He's doing the gutturals again, so I gotta check it out.
What the fuck are they? I have no fucking idea. It's
They're
like Cookie Monster.
they're very original. They
Yeah.
are proggy, but with the death metal and
It's death metal.
death metal vocals, yeah, and some of it musically. I'm talking about earlier, like
Yeah.
Blackwater Park and stuff like that. Deliverance, I love Deliverance, but that one got a little more. I wouldn't say polished, but it became a little more accessible than the earlier stuff. I love Opeth. I've seen Opeth about five.
Okay.
Last time I
I
saw
was.
them, they opened for. And I'll tell you this is really unique. I saw them open. The last time I saw them, they opened for Dream Theater at the Fillmore.
Oh wow.
And while they were playing, I shit you not, the curtains came down while they were playing, right?
Yeah.
And what the hell? And they moved out, and it took forever for the curtain to come back up. It was some shit was happening. When the curtain finally came up, they came out and they did the song, "The Drapery Fell."
That's a song that there's.
Yeah, ain't that unique?
That's funny.
That
I
one-
was just to get them.
Go ahead.
I was just to get them mixed up with this shitty band called OTEP.
Yeah, that's garbage.
Yeah, that shit's horrible. They had like a chick singer. That shit was terrible.
Yeah. No, I love
Terrible.
some early Opeth, man. Up to Deliverance. I love everything before Deliverance.
All right, I'll check it out. I know you're not a fan of Modern Sepultura, but I was wondering what you thought about their drummer, that Eloy, whatever the fuck his name, amazing fucking drummer.
I don't know.
But
I haven't seen him play, but if you're going to replace Igor, you got to be good.
oh yeah, I mean, trust me, I've seen footage of him with this guy, and he's been with them for a while. The guy's a fucking beast. But they booked the farewell tour, and then he jumped ship right before it starts to join Slipknot. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, we both like, yeah, Slipknot. But I kind of understand it from a career aspect. Like, okay, this band's ending, you need a new gig. Here's a band that's going to pay you Probably a lot more money than fucking Sepultura.
Probably.
Yeah. but you know what I mean? But I mean, you think the guy did like you think that was a shit move to quit right before the tour?
No,
Or do you
man.
think he made the right thing?
It's a great opportunity. There's a band that headlines festivals named after them.
Yeah, true.
Join that band. I'll tell you, I listen to Slipknot, and I miss Sammy Hagar. I will say, Slipknot is the worst band I ever heard in my life. In my life,
Wow.
fucking horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was kind of I really enjoyed his drumming, and I really think I don't know. I know you didn't like the first couple of Sepulturas with Derek Green. I really think though, if you would give the last couple a chance, I think you would like it. Maybe not though. But this guy, he was a fucking incredible drummer. Uh, but I mean, look at Slipknot. Joey Jordison was an amazing drummer. Just not a good band, but damn, they get some good drummers. That Max Weinberg's kid's fucking great too, and I love seeing him in Suicidal and Infectious. But yeah, that's a fucking step down as far as pay. Poor guy. Oh well.
I heard Sammy Hagar said he hated Weinberg's son because he's Jewish.
That's true. He is very anti-Semitic.
I didn't know that. I found that out recently.
Well, why do you think Alex Van Halen won't talk to this motherfucker? It's not because of the book.
Yeah,
it's because he's anti-Semitic.
A lot of people don't know that Ace Frehley likes stuff shoved up his ass.
Yeah. Oh boy, I can see the hate mail already.
I'll tell you right now, it's a book out there from a chick called Wendy, who dated Ace Frehley. She said she would stick stuff up his ass, and then that crazy Rachel bitch he dumped.
Yeah.
She came out and said he liked stuff shoved up his ass, but the way she said it, it was like acceptable to her. He would make me dress in a nurse outfit, and I would put stuff up his butt. And there were times he would say to me, "Can you get in a nurse outfit tomorrow?" And then she was like, "I know I'll be stuffing stuff up his butt."
Ace Frehley, what a fruit.
He's way fruitier than Paul Stanley. That goes without saying. Paul Stanley, as fruity as Paul Stanley is, never been caught, man. But Ace Frehley, he's been busted. He likes stuff up, and there's nothing wrong with wanting stuff up your ass. And there's nothing wrong about being gay, because if you like stuff up your ass, you're gay. I mean, nothing wrong with that.
It says it in the Bible.
I'm just saying, there's no proof that Paul Stanley ever had anything up his ass. I doubt he didn't. I'm sure Paul's probably had a smorgasbord of cock, but it's never been proven. Ace Frehley, you got pictures of that guy making out with old ladies, giving Peter Chris head. Ace Frehley's gay. He's gayer than Paul Stanley.
His wig ain't even straight.
Man, his wig. When Ace first started wearing the wig, it looked cool, man. It was like, look, he's got a cooler wig than Gene and Paul. Now it's all crooked and shit. He doesn't know how to put it on. Have you seen it? It's like crooked. And the shit.
That should be a meme or a T-shirt. Fucking Ace Frehley, even his wig isn't straight.
I saw another recent show. It's like, dude, either he's drinking again or he's on pills.
Yeah.
He's not sober. Bullshit. He's high on pills. I don't think he's drinking, because maybe he'd get caught with that. But I think he's on pills. When I saw him have that tirade at that pre-Chris show when the Frehley's Comet had a reunion.
Yeah.
And he was throwing shit at the sound man. It looked like a guy that needed pills. It looked like he went to Miami and forgot his pills at home.
Well, hopefully he ODs before he makes another Steve Brown album.
Ace Frehley is on pills and he's gay.
Fuck it. That's a title for this episode.
Yeah. Ace Frehley's on pills and he's gay. Remember that.
Plus Testament low.
I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna write that on the YouTube video. Ace
Please
Frehley,
do.
Ace Frehley's on pills and he's gay. Hey, this is the part of the show that everybody will love the best.
I don't.
Testament. Talk about Ace Frehley being gay and on pills.
I thought it was funny because I saw Jeff Beers made a comment because for a while there I was doing like the fake headlines and then I would do the album we're reviewing, and like a couple of Sundays or Mondays when I post the episode I was hungover and just like I can't even try to be funny right now. It's just this is what we're reviewing, and he's like, "Oh, I'm glad you went back to that. It takes out the confusion of what you're reviewing." It's like, who cares what we're fucking reviewing? You should tune in anyway.
Nah,
who pays
he does make a point. We got to do every week. Paul Stanley likes,
No, that's what he said. He didn't like that. He likes it when we just say what we're reviewing.
Yeah,
he didn't like.
I know. Yeah. But yeah, it confuses people. But next week the title will be Paul Stanley. Paul Stanley is fruity, but he doesn't do pills.
Yeah.
That's next week's episode. And we'll talk about Paul Stanley being fruity.
Ace Frehley is gay and on pills, plus Testament. If you make it that far, that's fucking awesome. Megadeth performed "Liar" for the first time in 18 years.
I saw them play it like 18 years ago. I was shocked. It was one of those gigantors.
Yeah.
And they played Liar that night because I only saw them play Liar on So Far So Good tour. They did do it that night, but they never played it since. And then they did it on that Gigantour like that many years ago, where Overkill was part of the bill.
Well, it's there's a kid I work with. He's like fucking 19, and he was talking to me. He's like, "Oh, Megadeth. You like Megadeth? You're old." He's like, "Megadeth's coming. You're gonna go see them. They're in Tacoma." I'm like, no, because of their fucking set list is what I said. I'm like, they don't play any of the shit.
And their opening bands, oh boy.
Yeah. Well, normally, they're opening for fucking Five Finger Death Punch these days. But I did see at this latest show, they played Liar. They brought back The Conjuring again, which they were doing for a while, then they took away. And he played the Mechanics, which is nice, even though
all that was when I saw him over for the Misfits.
Yeah.
They did Mechanics and they did The Conjuring.
Yeah, but I mean, they've dropped that the last couple of years. They haven't played them. Hey, maybe they can do I mean, goddamn, listen to this shit, though. This is why I won't go see Megadeth. Here's the set list. The Sick, the Dead, and the Dying, Dread and the Fugitive Mind, Wake Up Dead, In My Darkest Hour, Hangar 18, Sweating Bullets, Liar, Skin of My Teeth, Angry Again. I'd like to see Angry again. She-Wolf, Countdown to Extinction, The Conjuring, Trust, Tornado of Souls, We'll Be Back, Symphony of Destruction, Mechanic, and Peace Sells. And then
that's not that bad. I still wouldn't go.
No, this one's better than most of them. But I mean, like, take 4 of the good songs off of this, and it's your average fucking Megadeth set. That's why I won't go see them live. Is the set list? I could give fucking less, And I thought maybe they'd change it out when they got rid of Cuckoo, but now they got Timu, and or Tutu, whatever the fuck his name is. I mean, I'm sure he's good, but I want to go see shit where they only play shit off the fucking first 4, and I'd be happy. But that ain't happening. All right, what else is going on here? Iron Maiden's Nickel McBrain on his post mini stroke recovery. I'm still not back to where I want to be. I hope he gets better. I'm going to see him in October, man. And man, it's almost like, what do? do you replace Nico or do you let him go out there and play half-ass versions of what he used to play?
No, man, Nico plays great. He's just worry wart because Nico just did a tour with my buddies, Paolo,
Yeah,
Zach, Mike, all these people. They did. It's a band called the Titanium Tarts, where
yeah,
all they do is play Iron Maiden. And there was like Infinite Dreams in the set list, Alexander the Great, deep tracks.
yeah.
And I saw the footage. Motherfucker still plays awesome. He's just being
All
hard.
right.
He can do it.
All right. Well, I'll give you my rebuttal. I'll be right back. I gotta pee again. Broke the seal. Oh.
You still here? You still watching? This guy's got to pee a lot because he drinks a lot. That's why he doesn't remember shows. Back in the 80s, I used to drink Jack Daniels. I used to get so polluted at shows, and I can name you every set list I saw back then. I can name them. Not in order, but, like an example, Power Slave. Maiden Power Slave. I was beyond slosh for that. Fucked up. It was the same exact set list as the Live After Death. And then the next year was Somewhere in Time, and I can tell you the rare things they played that night. They played Phantom of the Opera. Never seen them play that before. They kept Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner in the set, which is odd because it's such a long song. You figure they drop it on the next tour. See, and I'm fucked up at Somewhere in Time as well, and I remember that. I remember we caught Somewhere in Time, Stranger in a Strange Land, the horrible hate. And years. They didn't play Sea of Madness, but they did play that earlier in the tour. All right, he's back. Now I can stop talking. He's Frehley's gay and he's on pills.
Ooh. Damn, that was good. Yeah, what I was getting at with the Nico thing is I saw some footage from the beginning of that the Somewhere in Time tour, this modern one. And he was playing like very simplified versions of his drum fills, like leaving a lot of shit out and just doing the basic shit. And it's like, oh, that sucks. But again, this was like right after the stroke. So hopefully he's got a little bit back up to speed. It's like, I want to see Nico again, but I also at the same time want to hear these songs played the way I'm used to hearing them. So
he's back to normal.
Okay, well that's good. Well, it's good for me,
Yeah, you'll get to see him play those shitty songs perfectly.
I know. I'm worried though about like what they're going to change up, because I know they're going to make some changes, and they're primarily playing shit from either Somewhere in Time or Shitsitsu, and like I could give a fuck less which one of those shitty songs they change out because they all suck. Fucking donkey. They're fucking gayer than fucking Ace Frehley. But
not that gay.
Okay, yeah, it's not that bad. It's not. Yeah, you're right.
You never saw Fujitsu making out with an old man. That should be the picture I use as the thumbnail for the video. The picture of Ace Frehley making out with an old man. I'm gonna do that. That'll be We're gonna get a lot of views on the YouTube this week. Watch.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. No, we did great on the last one. It was amazing. Fucking the YouTube views clobbered the Podbean downloads, which I mean is a sign of the future and the way it's going. So that doesn't bother me as much. But goddamn, you attach Kiss to anything, and people tune in.
No, not only this episode will be attached to Kiss, it'll have a member of Kiss making out with an old man because he's gay and he's on pills.
I think here. Oh God, we should do this to get revenge on these Kiss tards. It doesn't matter what album we're reviewing. I'll just put Kiss.
Yeah.
and these fucking nerds will sit there through 3 hours of our fucking babble like, they didn't talk about the B-sides of Unmasked like they said they were going to.
The B-sides of Unmasked are on Unmasked.
Oh man, let's see what else is going on. Anything worth a shit? Da, 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 da. We might have talked about this in the past, and I drink a lot, so I don't remember. Have you listened to all of Kerry King's solo album yet? You got an opinion? You like it? You don't like it?
What
What you
I heard
think?
so far, I liked. I didn't dislike it. Sounded like
Okay,
later Slayer, Repentless.
right on. Yeah, I'd like to see him. I don't think I'm going to get a chance to, but I like what I heard, man. Mark from Death Angel's fucking amazing. He's got a good band behind him. What else is going on? Oh God. Well, this is sad. I'm looking at three stories in a row on fucking Blabbermouth. One's Green Day, the next one's Stain, and after that, Skillet. Jesus fucking Christ.
Who the fuck
Uh,
killed?
oh, you don't know who Skillet is?
No.
Okay, they're another one of these bands like Five Finger Death Punch, and they're like, we have no idea who the fuck they are, but they're immensely popular. They are a Christian rock band. They are like this generation's fucking Striper, but gayer. But gayer. So much gayer. But they're very popular. Like they play and places sell out. Their records do well. I've never heard them. Don't want to. Don't want to know nothing about it.
Well, if they're gayer and they take pills, they're just the base, really.
Yeah. Except they don't wear clown makeup. You know. I don't know if their fans would be as rabid as Kiss fans, though.
Boy,
Because there's
is Ace Frehley's fucking what do they call us again?
Ace Frehley is gay and on pills. I love it. Yeah, but I don't know. Fuck Skillet. Uh, and I saw you put out a video on this next story. I haven't got a chance to see it yet because, god damn, you put out some videos. I think that's awesome, and that's what you need for that algorithm, man. Keep those fuckers tuned in. But fuck, I got a job, Knuckle.
Over
Sammy,
30,000 subscribers, man.
oh, I love, and you know what? I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud of that because there's a lot of other YouTube shows that I subscribe to and that I watch, and they don't have nowhere near the subscribers that you have.
Oh, that's because
And
I'm better and I'm not on pills.
yeah, well, no, but I think about that, and I think about like these are shows that do have a really good fan base, and you're even bigger. And I always think about, I was like, God damn, these guys are celebrating this, and look at how many motherfuckers my buddy's got. Hot damn, I picked the right tit to suckle on.
You know
You're a
what's
star.
really fucked up about YouTube though?
What's that?
People are getting unsubscribed to my channel.
What do like automatically or some shit?
Yep. I've had more than a few people complain about that.
I've seen some of the shows that I watch. People have complained about like YouTube shadow banning them. Like people who are subscribed to the channel do not see their new videos in their feed and shit. They call it shadow banning. I have no idea what
they
the
don't
fuck
do
it
that
is.
to me, but what they do to me sometimes is they won't allow me to monetize some of my videos, which is gay because I did this test, right? I put up
Right.
a video and it says this can't be monetized. They're going to keep all the money, right? So I
Right.
delete it and I put it back up like 3, 4 days later under a different title. And
Yeah.
they let it on. It's like they okayed it. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Because there were there was some that did it that I either said fuck it and just aired it without making no money off it, and those videos get an insane amount of. I would have made easily like 80, $90 off that one video that they end up keeping all. But now it's like, dude, I refuse to air any video they're gonna take away money from. So I delete it, and I put I roll it back up later, and a couple days goes by.
Yeah. Fuck YouTube, god damn it.
Yeah, YouTube. I mean, look, man, I'm getting more views now on YouTube than ever, yet I'm making less money. It makes no sense. How can I make less money when I get?
It makes sense if you're YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. I'm getting more views and less money. Makes no sense. But I'm still
but
making a good chunk. Don't get me wrong.
but what I was getting at is Sammy Hagar believes Alex Van Halen's autobiography has something to do with their lack of communication. And I saw you put up a video about that. And this fucker just can't
No,
take a hint.
what he said was Alex Van Halen is ignoring me because the people that are releasing his book told him, don't speak to Sammy or David Lee Roth. Without any proof. He's like, I speculate that.
Yeah, like, does that make sense to you? I mean, because it doesn't register with me.
I speculate that the reason that they're re-releasing the For Unlawful Carnage album is for Alex, since he's so ashamed of the album, to get that money for a sex change.
I don't even think that's a bad. I think that's just the record label thinking like, oh, they might make something off of this. But it's funny though, because you look at these, the Sammy remasters, and you look at the sales, and you look at the excitement level, and you look at all this shit compared to the Dave, the classic Van Halen reissues. It's night and fucking day. Night and fucking day what people care about. If you go on, such shit I hate as like Spotify or iTunes, whatever, what people listen to, it's the Dave shit. It's not the fucking Sammy shit. If you look on YouTube, you see all these motherfuckers playing Eddie Van Halen licks. They're never playing Van Hagar licks. They're always playing Van Halen. Nobody cares about this shit. And nobody cares about Sammy. And I think Alex just sees it as, he sees the Sammy tour for what it is. It's Sammy capitalizing on this. It's the only card he has left in his fucking deck. Because if not, it would just be another Sammy tour of fucking, carnivals and county fairs and shit. And it's still not selling that great. Every show you see, it's on Groupon. Okay, well, if you're on Groupon, it's because you're not fucking selling tickets. Well, a well-promoted show, a well-selling show is not on Groupon.
My friend went. The opening night was West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
It was half empty.
I believe it. Al Horta went, and I'm still shaming him. Wait till that motherfucker's ever on another show of ours. I'm going to give him such shit over going to that crap. I love Al, but god damn, who wants to hear that shit? And now I heard at the last show they replaced playing Jump with Beautiful Girls. Can you imagine Sammy Hagar doing Beautiful Girls?
No way.
Yeah. Another sign of the apocalypse. Another sign that fucking Ace Frehley's back on cock and fucking Percocets.
Well. He's always been on cock. Percocets is the new thing with Ace. But Ace has always loved the cock.
The funny thing is, I even skipped over a story where Ace just said the secret to his sobriety is going to meetings and talking to his sponsor. His sponsor is RuPaul.
Yeah. His sponsor puts stuff up his ass. Because Ace is gay. And let me tell you something, there's nothing wrong with being gay. But there is something wrong with taking pills.
Yeah.
But the only thing is wrong, what Ace Frehley's wrong about by taking pills is that he won't admit it. Now, all you pill poppers out there say, hey, I'm a pill popper head, man. You're all right, because at least you're honest. But Ace Frehley not only pops pills, but he gets girlfriends to let the public think that he's not gay. But what the public doesn't know is that girlfriend is shoving stuff up his ass while he's on pills. This is a tangled web he weaves. This is a really good show, Ian. This is way more important than a Testament review.
Hey! We only do good shows because we're the best. The best since what, 2014.
I like to
Can you
find out.
believe?
I like to find out which one of Ace Frehley's girlfriends shoved stuff up his ass the best. If we ever get
I
Ace
think,
Frehley on the show, we got to ask him that.
yeah. Probably the chick who shoved the most up his ass was his girlfriend named Fred. Fucking homo.
You know who I think would be the best person to shove stuff up Ace Frehley's ass?
Who's that?
Tim Bream.
Yeah, but Tim Bream would shove shit up his ass and go, "It's not gay. It's not gay. It's awesome."
Like shit, he's had so much shit up his ass, Tim. You can probably put your head in there and see what he had for breakfast.
Fuck it. Tim Bream would be getting head from Ace and be like, "Paul Stanley's such a faggot." You know?
Yeah, of course. That's the thing. He goes out of his way to show how Paul Stanley's gay with no proof except him acting fruity. You know what I did on that Sinking Stanley page shit? What day was it, man? God damn it. I can't remember what day it was, but I went on the page and I put up, I remember what I did. I put up a picture of Ace Frehley making out with the old man, and I wrote, "Hey, Tim, this ain't Photoshopped."
If he can do Sinking Stanley, I think I'm going to do Plugging Frehley. You know, "Hey, Curly, stick this up my ass. I'm Ace Frehley. Stick it up my ass.
That old man is cute. I want to make out with him.
Fracture my asshole 7. Stick it up my ass."
I'm pissed that Kiss never reunited because I never got to suck Peter Chris's dick again. Give me some pills.
I thought I was sucking Peter's dick, but it was really Eric Singer. I could tell because Peter Chris is hung like a horse, and Eric Singer's got a midget dick. Eck! Oh, God.
Pass me the pill.
Zach Wild says current touring band is not Pantera. Pantera is Dime, Vinny, Phil, and Rex.
And Terry Glaze, motherfucker. Don't forget Terry Glaze.
Yeah. And I agree. I'm still happy this tour is going on because I fully think that, yeah, people want to hear these songs. I think it's fucking killer. But, yeah, it's not Pantera. What do you think of is there a likelihood of this lineup, though, creating new music, or you think it's strictly touring?
I think it's strictly touring, but if they make new records, you should call it something else.
Oh, definitely.
You know? I saw Pantera with Zach.
Yeah.
And look, man, Charlie's amazing. He's a beast, but it wasn't Vinny. It didn't have that preciseness of Vinny, but it was extremely, extremely passable. Zach, on the other hand, amazing guitar player. No way did he replicate Dime.
Yeah.
Because Dime was too good. Time was watching Zach Wild trying to do Dime, you realize Dime was better than Zach Wild.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Well, I think another thing that kind of holds Zach back doing that is I don't think, and I love Zach, but he can't let go of his little fucking pinch harmonic shit, man. You know?
Oh, I didn't hear too much of that with Pantera.
Right, but you know what I mean? I don't know. I think
forget his music. I haven't really liked anything he's done since Order of the Black. And even before that, there was spotty albums.
Yeah.
Black Label Society, goddamn, it's been what, 20 years since they released anything I like.
Yeah. But yeah, it's, Zach's great, but I mean, Dime was the successor to Eddie Van Halen. And there hasn't been a successor to Dimebag. There hasn't. There's been no guitar player that's pushed or elevated guitar playing since Dimebag. Not even Ace Frehley. with fucking 5 fingers up his fucking ass. You
Yeah,
know?
but Dimebag had an Ace Frehley tattoo, and he was a huge influence. Remember that?
Yeah. Well, no, but he's like he's not
Yeah.
gay, but he's like an ally.
No, no, you got to
You know?
understand. Ace Frehley was extremely influential, and if Zach Wild sucked cock and take pills, he would have been influential too.
Yeah, but you realize Dimebag got shot by a guy who hated homos, and he shot him because he had an Ace Frehley tattoo.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Yeah,
Now
it's
it
all
makes
coming out.
perfect. Now it makes perfect sense. I don't feel bad for that guy anymore. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong about being gay. It's just wrong that you
yeah.
don't admit that you take pills and suck cock. You know.
Oh man, here's some sad news to me. I don't know if you give a fucking rat's ass, but drummer Jason Bittner left Overkill.
We were just
And they had.
talking last week. We had
Oh, we did talk about that.
oh no, I'm saying last week on Almost Human.
Oh,
We had Michael Gilbert from Flotsam.
yeah.
And, Bittner was in Flotsam before he joined Overkill.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh man, check out the self-titled Flotsam album. Flotsam and Jetham, he's on it. Sick drummer, man.
Oh, Bittner played on that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's fucking amazing, man. You're not a big Shadows Fall fan, though, are you?
No, and I've seen them a bunch of times, and they were hit and miss. There were a couple times I saw them, I thought they were good. Then I saw them a couple other times, and I thought they sucked.
I love them. I mean, I love like the early you know. To me, they'll never top Art of the Balance. I thought Art of the Balance was a fucking. Well, I guess it's old now, but it's a modern metal masterpiece. But like, they're getting ready to tour like for the 20th anniversary of War Within, and I like that album, but it's like to me, it ain't no fucking Art of Balance. But god damn, was he a drummer? It's cool. I got to meet him when I met Anthrax and interviewed Blitz and everything, and but man, I thought he added a lot to Overkill. And apparently they already have somebody lined up. It hasn't been announced yet, so I have no idea if it's another, like a known drummer or if it's a new guy. But fuck, you know. It sucks because he says that, he's leaving to concentrate on Shadows Fall and Category 7. And I'm like, ugh. Because we both kind of feel that way about Category 7. But I do get that in both of those bands, like in Shadows Fall, he's an original member. He gets original member money, Category 7, I'm sure shit gets split evenly. In Overkill, he probably don't get no t-shirt money. It's almost like CJ and the Ramones. You know what I mean? And that's what sucks about joining a legacy band, because, nobody's going to make the money that fucking Dee Dee and fucking Blitz make. He's going to get a fraction, but as a music fan, I want him in the better band, which is fucking Overkill. And I loved what he had. I don't know who they're going to get, but I wish the guy nothing but the best because he's a fucking beast. And I do understand that you got to do this shit for a living. You got to make money. So, but yeah, it sucks. Sucks for Overkill because he was great. I mean, I loved the drummer they had before him, Ron Lipnicki. Holy fuck, was that guy a beast? I have no idea what led. They never discussed what it was. They just said like personal stuff he had to take time off for. When they did that live at Oberhausen, they had their tech play the drums, who did amazing, and then they ended up going with Jason Bittner. But I thought Bittner was incredible on the last 2 Overkill albums. Whether you like them or not personally, Ralph, I think you got to admit the drumming was fucking incredible. So
they had more drummers than Spinal Tap.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I wish him nothing but the best. But yeah, I hate seeing him leave Overkill because Jason Bittner doesn't like shit up his ass or pills. He just likes to drum. At a accelerated ability. What else we got going on here? Blah 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 blah. Nothing. 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 Don't give a shit. Did we talk about Aerosmith giving it up last week?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're probably caught up. Yeah, because I remember talking about this last week. So yeah, that's it for the fucking news, motherfuckers. Most important news is Ace Frehley is gay and back on pills. Never left the dick, but went back to the pills.
And for all you,
and that's the tagline.
All you Kiss Squads listening now, we are going to bring up Ace Frehley sucking cock and taking pills all throughout this Testament review. We'll find witty ways of bringing it up.
So this is one I've wanted to review for a long time. And I know you're not, there's some Testament you love, but overall you're not a big fan of this band. And I have a theory. I'll get into it later in the review. A theory of why.
I know exactly why. I can give you the example why I find Testament to be safe thrash. You know, I brought it up earlier. I said, Testament's Disney thrash. And some guy made a good point. He said, you know what, man? I see more Anthrax as Disney thrash and Testament as Nickelodeon thrash. And I think that makes sense because Disney is bigger than Nickelodeon. And Anthrax, oh my God, you talk about, you know, I'm saying Testament's the most overrated thrash band, but if you really want to get into it, Anthrax is even more overrated because Anthrax headlines over Testament when they tour together.
I would agree with that if we were talking about the Neil Turbin era, but
no, I'm talking about the Persistence of Time era. That crap. Joey Belladonna sound.
That's an amazing album,
dude. I listened to that album the other day. Number one, Joey sounds so out of place. No wonder they fired him. After
you don't like metal.
Number two, oh, let's do the thing that should not be with Keep It in the Family. It's so obvious. I mean, it's such Metallica blatant. I mean, they don't rip off Metallica as bad as Testament does. But they did, man. If you listen to the first Anthrax albums, there's no Metallica on Fistful of Metal. You start hearing it a little bit on Friend of the Disease, then it fucking Among the Living, Persistence of Time, and State of Euphoria, which in a way I kind of like State of Euphoria more than all three. All those three. I think that's the best one out of the three.
That's crazy.
It's kind of,
and I love State of Euphoria, but
it's kind of a shitty album. But there's some songs I really like on State of Euphoria.
Yeah. There's nothing you like. Nothing you like on Persistence.
Nope.
Wow.
And you know, if I was to pick one, it'd be the instrumental Before Belly of the Beast. That would probably be the only thing I like. That album's we reviewed it, dude. I said it on the review.
Yeah.
I had to do a track by track not too long ago for it, so I had to listen to it.
Love that album.
God, it's so bad. And I have a theory, and I'll talk about it during the review, why I think these bands are safe Disney Nickelodeon bands. And I'll throw Overkill in that mix too.
All right. Well, we were going to devote this whole episode to Ace Frehley sucking cock and taking pills, but fuck it, man. This is an album I've wanted to review for a long time, and it appears that people on the Facebook page were excited about it too. When I mentioned it, they're like, oh, fuck yeah, I would love a review of this album. What I'd really love to hear about, though, I mean, you used like Testament back in the day, though, didn't you?
I loved Legacy when it first came out. I loved it. New Order had its moments. I still wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't until Practice What You Preach. That's when it hit me. I was like, oh, what the fuck is this safe Disney thrash bullshit? I didn't say safe Disney thrash back then, but I was like, this is shit for people that, you know, like thrash for dummies. That's what I call it. But oddly enough, I love Souls of Black. I think it's like their third or second best album.
which most people usually say is one of their weakest, and
Yeah,
even the band would say is one of their weakest.
including the band. I love that album.
And I remember we did a review of that episode. I mean, a review of that album. And when I listened to it, and I don't know if it was, just me that week or whatever, but god damn, I didn't even like it as much as I remembered liking it. But I am a huge, huge Testament fan. And when I was coming up and listening to thrash, this was a very popular band. I mean, right around with the Big Four, man, a lot of people love Testament. And it seemed up until the Ritual. The Ritual, it seemed like everybody turned their back on this band.
Every band, every band. By the time they
Yeah.
released the Ritual, every band was getting turned their back on.
Yeah. But and still to this day, I think I love the Ritual. I really do. I like their. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's other Testament albums that I like better, but I never hated the Ritual the way most people did. And I get it. I'm a fucking anomaly. Most people are like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, that to me is their Black Album.
You'll get well. I agree with that, but I will say I prefer the Ritual over the Black Album.
I love Electric Crown. That song.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Everybody says, "Oh, I love Electric Crown, but fuck the rest."
The rest sucks.
Yeah, no, I fucking love it. But to my ears, I think Ritual is like a successful Black Album. It's definitely more commercial, and I don't even know if commercial is the right word, but it's like it's a little bit more mainstream metal wise, more traditional metal and less thrash. But I think the songwriting's really good. I think, the vocals are great. I mean, I think Chuck Billy is I think he's the best vocalist in thrash. I really do. He's like a better James Hetfield. And to this day, Chuck Billy can still fucking sing. He's still got everything that he had in the past, where Hetfield strains. And Chuck Billy can do the fucking, he can do the death metal growls. He can do the regular thrash vocals. And when it comes to ballads, that motherfucker can just straight up sing. I mean, just fucking amazing.
I'll be right back.
All right. And I think, I compare him to Overkill in the fact that there is no Testament, no Overkill album that I hate. That I'm like, oh, this is the fucking elder. This is the one where fucking Ace Frehley, is on the cover sucking cock, taking pills, of course there's Testament albums I like more than other ones, but there's none that are like fucking Saint Anger or fucking Load or Reload or fucking World Needs a Hero or fucking Fistful of Metal. Or even my beloved Slayer. I love fucking Slayer. But fuck, I'd take Diablos over fucking Divine Intervention. That's just me. And I love some shit on Divine Intervention, but, better album cover than an album. And if you're going song for song, I would take it, Diablos over it. But Testament to me is just dependable. When I get a new Testament, I know it's going to be good. It's just how good is it? Is it on par with the old shit? Is it just like, middle of the road? It's like you're not disappointed, but you're not, blown away. But my turn to take a piss. But yeah, I dig Testament. But I want to get into where you and your people, when I get back, I want to get into where your fandom and the group that you hung with, where their fandom was in 1994 with Testament. I'll be right back.
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I have him explain that more. But fuck Testament, man. It's like, yes, I'll tell you right now, I love the Legacy. I thought that was their best album. New Order had like a couple good songs, but not. Disciple of the Watch was good. Into the Pit, Trial by Fire I liked. Then fucking practice what you preach. That's when I was like, to me, it's sellout shit, man. There's no originality in that. Testament is the biggest blatant Metallica ripoff band ever. It's total Metallica, but a cheaper version. I don't care how good Chuck Billy's voice is compared to James Hetfield. It lacks the fire the first three Metallica had, and they were trying to capture that. And then doing a song called The Ballad, and it's them going, oh, well, let's do a Fade to Black. Let's do a Sanctuary. Sanitarium. Let's do that because we are Metallica close. And it failed miserably. It was fucking horrible. I hated it.
Hated it.
Then Souls of Black came out, and I loved it. Even The Ballad. The only ballad I like from Testament is A Legacy. Awesome.
Great song.
And then after that, it was all spotty until this album, which I thought I loved. Listening today, it has its moments. But The Gathering, that to me, Testament's never topped that album. The Gathering rules.
Most posers say that.
Probably my second favorite. My favorite would be Legacy, then Souls of Black, then The Gathering. Those are my top three albums.
So, right before I had to piss, I was thinking back to, 92 when The Gathering came out. And a lot of people I knew didn't like The Gathering. They're like, they sold out, they did all this. And then, it wasn't that long later, they released the EP, Return to Apocalyptic City. More of a thrashier, not only album cover, but, we're going back to our thrash shit. And most people didn't care. They'd buy the t-shirt, and that was about it. They didn't care. So you go forward a year later, and Low comes out, and nobody gave a shit by 94. I don't know anybody who bought Low. I don't remember it being promoted, for shit. Just we knew through magazines that Skolnick was out of the band. So it's like, Skolnick's gone, Louis Clemente's gone, Testament's dead. Didn't give a fuck. I didn't listen to this album till years later. I think I bought it probably in the late 90s because it was in a cutout bin. I'm like, fuck it. I love Old Testament. Let me give it a try. And I was like, holy fuck. Fuck, did I like this album. But did you get Low when it came out? Or did you even buy The Gathering when it came out?
Yeah, I bought Low when it was brand new.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Because Headbangers Ball was gone, but here on Miami Beach, we had Spanish MTV. The only place in the whole America, because this was broadcast in South America, because the studio was here on Lincoln Road, where I actually went there, became friends with the DJ, and met Ozzy Osbourne. Anyway, So they played Low, the video. And I was like, holy shit, this shit rules. And this is Spanish MTV, so they kept in, hey, you piece of shit, just leave the kids alone. They didn't edit the vocal. Yeah. And, Chuck Billy, like fucking Alice Cooper makeup.
Yeah.
Braids and silver face. It's an amazing video. Thrashy killer. He does the guttural singing.
Yep.
Which it brought me back into Testament. I was like, fuck. And I remember liking this album a lot when it was new. And I haven't heard it in many years. And I listened to it today and I'm like, some is really good and some is just.
Oh, you're fucked. You're fucked.
Yep. To me, it's like.
Were you excited? Did you know about the lineup changes? Did you realize that they had James Murphy from Death? And
yes, and I saw James Murphy from Death because they did come out for the horrible next album, Demonic. I saw that tour. And
well, he wasn't with them then, was he?
Yeah.
He didn't play on that.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Well, I could have sworn he did. Well, I know I also saw.
No, he played on this, and then he played on the Gathering, but I don't think he did the tour for the Gathering.
Well, I also saw a metal fest, and it was a disaster. Testament was booked, and it was a dude. They didn't even play 3 songs, I think, because they had so many issues. And that was with James Murphy. That was 2001, 2002, around there.
Wow, yeah, because I know, uh, I mean the history of this band and who played. I mean, like, uh, James Murphy played on the Gathering. I don't think he has any writing credit. I believe he was brought in like, hey, play some leads on this shit. It was all written primarily with Eric Peterson and Lombardo. But by the time they toured it, it was Steve Smythe on guitar, DiGiorgio on bass, and I forget who the drummer. I got to switch pictures on here later on. There's a hilarious picture from the Gathering tour that looks like is this fucking Testament or Coal Chamber? It looks pretty bad. but but no, I mean that's cool. You like the single when it first came out. And I think I remember you telling me that story about seeing it on Spanish MTV because I was still watching MTV in '94 and I never saw the video for Low.
No, no, they didn't. Once that Banger's Ball was gone, that's it. No more metal videos.
Right. But again, we'll get into. I have a pretty concrete theory. Your prejudice against this band. But go ahead, take the opening track, Low. What do you think?
Awesome song,
Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I pretty much said what I thought of the song. Loved
All right.
the use of the guttural vocals. It's just a ripping song. It's awesome. It's really good.
All right. I love it. I think it's an epic title track. And, I know epic's kind of hard to apply to a song that's 3 minutes and 30 something seconds. But I think it works here because I think this is a standout fucking track. This is with the Disciples of the Watch or fucking Alone in the Dark. When I think of like hardcore Testament songs, I'm like, fuck yeah. And it sounds like classic Testament to me. I mean, if I didn't know James Murphy was on this, I would think it was Skolnick. I mean, you listen to those riffs, guitar wise, this sounds like everything before I've heard from Testament, just beefed up. I mean, it sounds even more beefed up after The Gathering, which again, The Ritual, which I liked, but it was a slower tempoed, slower down version of Testament. But I think, man, if more people had heard this when it came out, because it had no promotion. This is '94. This is, Stone Temple Pilots and Pearl Jam and, shit like that and fucking Bush, crap like that. It's not fucking Testament anymore. Their day is come and gone, and I feel like, fuck, they kind of came late to the thrash party as far as popularity. I mean, I think, at least in my circle, I can't speak for yours, Riley, because it seems like you had a much hipper circle. But where I grew up, most people, it was practice what you preach, and then they would go back and, it was new, the New Order and the Legacy. People found out about that shit. But it's when you saw Practice What You Preach on MTV, people were checking this band out. But so many people were like, fuck yeah, Testament. They were just as much talked about and looked upon in my circles as Slayer and Anthrax and Megadeth and all that shit. People love this shit. I do remember, some people, when Souls of Black came out, everybody loved the song Souls of Black. But as far as the album, they're like, it's not as good as Practice, or the other ones and shit like that. What's that?
I just laughed.
Oh, yeah. I know. You don't like Practice. I remember that. But, nah, man, I dig this one. I think it's fucking killer. And there's great live versions of these songs. on the album after this, Live at the Fillmore. And I think by the time Live at the Fillmore came out, John Tempesta was gone. He recorded the album and left and joined White Zombie, and they got John Denty, who's played with Slayers, played with Anthrax,
I saw him
played
with
with a shit.
Slayer.
Oh, John Denty, yeah. I never saw. I only.
I saw.
How was he?
It was great. It was a very rare show. I was at the CD release party for the Punks album, that punk album they did.
Yeah.
Rick
Yeah.
Rubin was there. And
Oh
it,
shit.
and it was very odd about this. It was a billiard on Miami Beach, right? And Slayer played. They played, and it was great. Little tiny play. Tom Araya kicked a guy in the head trying to get on stage. Anyway, so fast forward like fucking 10 years later, Slayer's playing the Fillmore that's like 5 blocks from that billiard. And Thrash or Die played after Slayer at that place where I saw Slayer with Denty.
Oh, so Slayer opened up for you. Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. They opened up the Fillmore and we headlined at the billiard.
Awesome.
And Bobby Gus was there that night.
Nice. Yeah, but the tour for this, James Murphy stuck around for the tour, but Joe Denny did the drums. But you still have, a huge core. You still got Chuck Billy, Eric Peterson. You got Greg Christian on bass, the very underrated Greg Christian. And this would be the last album he would do with the band, studio album, until Formation of the Damnation. But man, I love this one. And then we go into the next song, Legions in Hiding. Fuck, I love this song. What a 1-2 punch, for me. I think it's like if this album would have came out after Practice, or if it would have came out after, Souls of Black, it's hard to say. It's hard to say because Metallica led everybody down the fucking FM classic rock radio road, but I think they would have had more respect and more people would have been paying attention. They lost so many people with the Ritual, but man, do I love Legions. I think it's a fucking killer track. What do you think, Ralph?
Boring.
Oh,
what is this? Virgin
faggot.
Thrash?
I don't get it.
I think anybody that likes this song would kick the shit out of any nerd that plays Dungeons and Dragons, and would win at the Dungeons and Dragon game because unlike gay power metal, this is gay thrash, and we all know it doesn't matter what kind of thrash it is. Thrash is better than power metal.
Yes.
And
hair metal's better than power metal.
And I gotta tell you, gay thrash sucks cock. Gay power metal sucks cock and takes pills like Ace Frehley.
Much like Ace Frehley.
That's right.
You don't like this one, huh?
No, I didn't like it. I'm listening to today. It's like,
wow.
It's like by numbers. It's like, whatever. What's the next one? I took notes.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary. This one's not bad. But I do hear a bit of shedding skin from Pantera. And that's the thing about a lot, including Overkill.
Yeah, but this is before that, though.
Well, it still has that. Well, Vulgar was out by the time, no?
Right. Yes. Vulgar was out. And there is a song I even put in my notes later on this album that I could hear a Pantera influence. So yeah, I'm not saying they weren't influenced by Pantera.
There's quite a few songs on here. But yeah, a lot of, including Overkill, a lot of these thrash bands did the groove metal thing for a while. But I do like the song. I'm not saying it's a bad song, but it is obvious they are the kings of ripping off Metallica in the 80s. The kings of it. There was no other band that sounded as much as Metallica and Testament. Now they're trying to get away from Metallica and become Pantera, who pretty much Metallica may have still more.
Do you think that vocally or musically? Or both?
Musically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I do think that he sounds, I mean, to my ears, he sounds like a better Hetfield. Like, like a more like Hetfield's awesome in his prime, but to me, like Chuck can do Hetfield and so much more.
He does have.
And I think, and I think he's held up. You know, his vocals have definitely held up more. But I love this fucking song, and again, this is one I was happy to check out because I've had it for a long time and never checked it out. They put out a live album from this tour, live at the Fillmore, and I was like, I want to hear how these songs translate live, you know, because I'm like, man, this shit to me sounds perfect, you know, alongside classic Testament. And I thought it sounded fucking great. To me, it's official. They're on fire here. I would never know that there was a lineup change listening to this if you didn't tell me. You know, I would think, you know, maybe, you know, Tempesta's drumming is a little bit more different than Louis Clemente's. But as far as the guitars, I think Murphy does an incredible job here. And it still sounds like, it doesn't sound like death metal, but it sounds like Testament. To me, Testament has a very distinct guitar sound. And what's funny is for years, I always attributed that to Skolnick. Because Skolnick was always the wonder kid. You know, he was like the young kid in the band. He was like 5 years younger than everybody else. I think he was like 14 or 16 when he joined. You know, and Skolnick was always got all the press. But if you look at a lot of the writing credits, it's all Eric Peterson. But man, when I hear this, it's like, fuck, it's Testament guitars. Even though it's him with fucking James, the incredible James Murphy. I think, you know, he did amazing work with Death. I love fucking Death. As far as death metal bands, I think they're my favorite. I really do. But no, I love this. Let's see. And again, I think songs like this are so much better than what we were hearing from the Big Four at that time. I mean, you know, fuck Metallica, fucking forget it. You know, and I love the Anthrax of this era. I love Sound of White Noise. I love Stomp 442. But that wasn't as much thrash. It was them doing something different. I loved it, but it wasn't thrash. Megadeth, fucking don't even get me started on fucking Megadeth at this time. And, you know, around this time, this is, you know, Slayer doing Divine Intervention, which, you know, to me, everybody's like shits on Diabolos. I like Diabolos better than fucking Divine Intervention. I think Divine Intervention has some amazing songs on it. But like song for song and album for album, I'll take Diabolos over Divine. I think Divine was just kind of heavy for heaviness sake, but lacking in the songwriting and the tunes. You know, that's just me. You're laughing.
Suck ass. Both those albums suck ass. Fucking dude, Diablos was new metal, dude. Had actually.
See, I get that on some songs, but there's other songs like I think it kicks in. But I mean, to me, there was shit on Divine that was just like heavy, but there was
Divine sucked.
Yeah. But there's like 3 or 4 songs on Divine I really like, but as a whole, it's a hard listen. You know, I could just because I don't think the songwriting's up to par. You know, just because, and we said this before, when you joke with me about like you hate metal, and just because something's heavy doesn't mean it's good. It's still got to be a good song. There's got to be something.
Let me ask you something. Do you understand that I think the heavy songs you don't think are good? You understand the part where I do think it's good?
Huh?
Never mind. Keep going.
But yeah, no, I love this one. And then we get into the ballad. And the reason I think Ralph really hates this fucking band. The ballad, Trail of Tears. Love this one. Love this one. Love it a lot more than that fucking shitty Wasp Trail of Tears songs that was written about the same plight of the American Indian. And for a man that's not big on ballads, man, for some reason, every time Testament does a ballad, I fucking dig it. I can't. There might be one, but I'm trying to think off the top of my head. A Testament ballad.
You like the ballad?
Yeah, yeah. And I think Chuck Billy's voice, man, it's so funny. This guy can do like he can do the Hetfield, he can do the and the motherfucker can sing. Um, and man, I love it. Like on Dark Roots of Earth, fucking Dark Embrace, that song. God damn, is that fucking good. And it cracks me fucking up that they wrote that song. They tried to get it on the soundtrack for fucking Twilight. And Twilight, like, no, no, we don't even know who you are. Like, no. Uh, that's just funny in itself. But what a fucking song. Or Cold Embrace, I think is the name of the song. Fucking amazing. But this guy's voice. And, it's cool. It's Chuck Billy. He's a fucking Indian and he's talking about this shit. But then it all hit home like a ton of bricks. What does Ralph hate about Anthrax? Ralph hates the song fucking Indians. And then I thought about it. Ralph hates Native Americans the same way that I despise the fucking French.
Look,
and feel they should be no. Hear me out. The French should be eliminated from the planet. Their country should be, I don't know, nuke the whole fucking thing. But then I'm like, at the same way that I'm right, that's how Ralph feels that he's right about Native Americans, because he doesn't like songs that care about the Native Americans. And that's why he hates this band, is because Chuck Billy, is Native American. And that's the thing. That's why you don't like this band, because you hate fucking Injuns.
hey,
I mean, I think you've even said this on an episode. You said, nothing. Red man, it should be a dead man or some shit. I think there was one episode where you said that.
No. And may I
No?
reply to this ridiculousness you're bringing up right now? All right. Number one, I never said a red man or dead man, but that's pretty funny. Now, the reason why you think I hate Indians is because you never asked me. If you ever asked me, you would know I hate those fuckers. Fuck the Indians. I ain't crying for no Indians. You know what I would cry for if I'm eating an ice cream and it falls on the ground? I'll cry about that. But I ain't crying.
Cry for the ice cream.
You know who I wish I was? I wish I had a time machine, right? I wish I was going
to be John Wayne and kill Indians.
No. This will be even better than killing Indians. I get in the car with a bunch of garbage, right?
And you throw it out and make that fucker cry.
Exactly. I'll draw. You know where that Indian is? That they throw it out the window. I wait till I find him. Let's drive around. I'll have you drive around, Ian. You're going to drive around with him. We're going to find him. And
great. We're going to get pulled over.
This time, I'm not going to throw garbage on the street. I'm going to throw it at him. Because no, I'll have to explain why I would do that. Because I hate Indians.
I brought that up at work to like another old guy that I work with. And I was like, none of these kids get that. Because this one kid tried to throw some trash in the fucking basket and it fucking missed. And I go, somewhere there's an Indian with one single tear coming down his face. I'm like, nobody will get that but you.
Did you know? Did you know the Indians were cannibals? Did you know this?
Well, I knew they were cannibals, but you know what the Indians didn't do? Suck dick and pop pills.
Yeah, good point. I got to admit, the Indians are better than Ace Frehley, because Ace Frehley, not that there's nothing wrong with being gay, but he denies being gay and he pops pills.
Yeah, and like that Indian band Redbone, that come and get your love. You Avenger fucking millennials know this shit. They wrote that. Steve Brown didn't write it. They wrote it.
Exactly. And they suck because they're Indians.
But I mean, besides your hatred of Indians, what do you think of this song?
Oh, it's a gay ass ballad, dude. This shit still not as gay as Ace Frehley popping pills, but it is horrible, dude. It's fucking horrible. I was like, oh,
do you like the Trail of Tears by Wasp?
I don't even know what song that is. What album was that on?
It's on that Dying for the World. It was like the epic ballad on that
I'm sure I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, because it's about Indians.
I did hear, yeah. I did hear the album, but I don't recall that song. But I don't think that song's about Indians because I would remember that because I hate the Indians so much that I would.
Well, it's so shitty on the Wasp album. There's like a shitty like fucking 7-minute version on the album, and then there's like a fucking 6.5-minute acoustic version because it meant so much he had to do it twice.
No. But anyway, fuck that song. Next song, Shades of War. More Dimebag riff. Like an 80s thrash band cashing into Pantera. Well, that's what all the bands did in the 90s, where, in the 80s, they were the kings of Metallica cloning. So, yeah, that one I didn't like. It was a little too groove metal. It was really not them. Is that, well, you think about it, they weren't them when they were Metallica either, but here they're trying to be Pantera.
I dug it. All right, yeah. Number 5, Shades of War. To me, right back to the metal, and another solid track, an album track, but solid nonetheless. I don't think this one is, is I love the first three. I think they're great metal tracks. Then you got the ballad, which I dig, but then you get back to this, and to me, it's just solid album track, but not standout. And then we'll go to the next one. PC. Fuck yeah. To me, another fucking album track. So it's like two back-to-back album tracks. These are two songs that I don't think that like have single potential. But to me, they're the kind of glue that you need to hold an album together. Like, to me, like a perfect album is like Screaming for Vengeance. Perfect fucking album. No horrible tracks. But some tracks are like standouts and some are deep cuts. That's how I feel this shit is. I love it. I think it's a great track, but it's not a single. But it keeps the feel of the album going. It keeps the momentum going. It doesn't let down, doesn't take its foot off the pedal. I think it's kick-ass. And much like Overkill, I feel like Testament is that kind of band that's always dependable. I don't think Overkill or fucking Testament have ever put out a bad album. I think some are better than others, but even Demonic, which is one that a lot of people are like, oh, I fucking hate Demonic because of the vocals and shit like that. It's not my go-to fucking Testament album, but I listened to it today. I was like, let me check it out. Like, I know Ralph is like, fuck that album. All these fingers. And I listened to it, it's like, it's all right. It ain't horrible. It ain't my favorite, but I dig it. And that's how I feel about PC. It's a solid album track. What do you think?
PC. You know what PC stands for?
Chuck Trainer.
No. Pills and cock.
oh, this is like Fractured 10.
Yeah, this is an Ace Frehley tribute right here. Pills and cock. Verses are good. I like the verses. The solo is awesome. I didn't like the rest. I didn't like the chorus and everything in between, but I did like the verse and I like the solo. So there you go. Had some nice things.
Nice. All right, take the next song. The second single off the album.
Was it?
Yeah.
This song's
the first single. The first single was Low. The second single was Dog Face Gods.
Wow, that's shocking to me. Dogface God is fucking awesome. This is an awesome song. Thrashy with the guttural vocals. See, this is like the most pure Testament has ever been, ever, on this song right here. And there's a lot of songs like this on The Gathering. But this is Testament being an original band, not copying anything, you know? And I like that they threw in the guttural vocals. I mean, he throws in the guttural vocals where it works. You know, he's not doing, oh, I want to be death metal for the sake of being death metal. It's really good for the music, the heaviness, the craziness of Dogface God. It's one of the greatest Testament songs ever. Fucking love this song. Love it.
Awesome. Well, I fucking love this one too. And little interesting factoid on this one. When they were recording this one, the powers that be at Atlantic Records, because at this point, you know, the early albums were on Megaforce, but distributed through Atlantic, like that kind of deal. I think Ritual and this one were just like straight up at Atlantic. But the people came to him and they said, "We need an alternative record from you guys because that's what's selling. We need you to be alternative." And that pissed Eric Peterson off. He goes, "Oh, you want an alternative? Here's our alternative." And they added this song to the album. And this was Eric Peterson, because he's into that like Swedish, like black metal and death metal. He has a side project. I haven't checked them out yet, called Dragon Lord.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I know. That's been a while.
Yeah, no, it was back then. I think they did like 2 albums. But anyway, but that was him like, okay, you want alternative, we'll give you an alternative, but not what the fuck you want. You know, an alternative, this is a little bit of alternative to what we normally do. And Dogface Gods, holy fuck, does it kick ass. Because much like we were talking about earlier in the news, like how we sold our souls and you heard fucking, you know, Am I Insane? And you didn't want to buy Sabotage. I had bought Signs of Chaos, which was the greatest hits by Testament. And they had this on there and I was like, holy fuck, what the fuck is this? Because I hadn't bought a new, I think that came out. Yeah, it came out after Demonic, but I had bought a Testament album since The Ritual. I had heard Return to Apocalypse City EP, but I didn't buy it. My friend had it. But I love this shit. I was like, fuck yeah. Yeah, I'll check this fucking shit out, you know? And I think that's when I picked up Low, when I saw Low later on in a cutout bin and got it. This song is fucking killer. I have no idea why they don't play this song live. You know, they play a lot of shit. You see them now, you know, Skolnick's back at the band, and then there's like the rotating bass and drummer, mostly the drummer. But they revisit The Gathering a lot, you know, which to me, this album and The Gathering are very similar. And if I had my druthers, I would take this one. I love The Gathering. I think The Gathering's fucking awesome, but there's just something about Low and the flow of it and everything. I fucking love it. But you go see them now, and they're going to play DNR off The Gathering. You might hear Ride the Snake, and that's about it. But nothing off of this. But goddamn, you know, I would love to go to a Testament show. And I've seen Testament many fucking times. I try not to miss them when I can. But Dogface Gods, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, love this song. All right, I'll take the next one, which is All I Could Bleed. Another track. Man, I fucking love this one. I think this is another one that could have been a single. You know, but yeah, you got to think 94, you know, you're lucky they got 2 fucking singles off this fucking album. I love this one. But this is one I wrote down in my notes. You can hear some Pantera influence in this. But I don't know. I don't know. You know, were they influenced by Pantera? Is this just naturally where they were going? Because you do have a different lineup. but to me, it fucking works. And this whole album, man, the drumming from fucking Tempesta, which, it's for those of you who don't know, Tempesta started out, he was a roadie for Anthrax, for Charlie Benante. And then he ended up joining Exodus, replacing Tom Huntington. Then he went to Testament, and then right after this is when he went to White Zombie, made a shit ton of money, and then he's gone on to play with the Cult and all these other bands. But man, Tempesta's fucking amazing, and the drumming on this shit, to me, that's the biggest change I can hear in the sound. The biggest difference. I don't hear as much difference in the guitar playing, which is weird because you think with Skolnick not being there and James Murphy being there, you think that would be where you're like, yeah, I hear that. But to me, it's the drumming. And as much as I love Louis Clemente, Tempesta fucking kills on this. And I think this track fucking works like crazy. What do you think, Ralph?
Yeah, that's one I like. Though, yeah, I hear the Pantera again.
Yep.
Metal, man. They're just trying to fit with the times, not being themselves like they were on Dogface God. But I don't dislike the song. I think the song's pretty good. All right, the next one, I'm going to try to pronounce this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ordif Duck A Doji. And what that means is Ace Frehley sucks cock and he does pills. This song sucks balls. Sucks like Ace Frehley sucks balls. Oh, look how good my bass playing is. What about the song? I know it's an instrumental, but I've heard some instrumentals that fucking rule. But this is just showing off bullshit, so fuck off. What do you think?
All right. Well, I think this is Urat Sukido G. Who knows? It's fucking Japanese and it perplexes me. I love this fucking track. I think it's great. I'm a big fan of Greg's bass playing, and I wish he was still in the band. And that's kind of hard to say when you've got Steve Smith playing bass now, who is another fucking beast. Just incredible. But I love what Greg added to this band. Unfortunately, he's not in the band. It's between money issues and reported drug issues. Reportedly, he's a meth addict, and if you see him, he does kind of fit the description.
Who's the meth addict?
Greg Christian.
He is?
Well, you kind of hear that's why he was out of the band, because he left after this. And then he came back when they did Reformation for the Damnation, which was everybody but Louis Clemente. They had Paul Bostoff on drums for that album, but the rest was the original band. But he was pissed because, and this is the thing with a lot of bands, once you leave that band, and they carry on without you, you come back, you're a hired gun, much like that cocksucking pill popping Ace Frehley and Peter Criss. It's not everything split four ways. You get, even Alex Skolnick is not on par with Peterson and Chuck Billy. He is a hired gun. Granted, he probably gets more than what Greg got, and that was probably part of the problem. But he complained about money, and they complained about his meth addiction. And that's why he was gone after the Formation for Damnation tour. But I think he's an incredible bass player. I mean, to me, a lot of his licks are kind of like Souls of Black. I love that song. And I love this. And if you want to hear, I mean, Ralph probably doesn't care because he hates the song. But if you want to hear an even better version of this, listen to that Live at Fillmore album that was from this tour. I think even better version. And I think it's a kick-ass song. I dig it. In fact, it's one of those instrumentals where I listen to it's like, fuck, throw some vocals on top of this because I like what you got going. But to me, it works as it is. I like it. It could be an instrumental. They could have added shit to it. I just love it. And again, I'm a big fan of Greg's bass playing. And I wish he was still in the band, but when you're replaced by fucking Steve Smith, it's like, fuck.
You know,
You know?
Greg's on my Facebook, and he leaves comments to some of my posts. I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna
Yeah.
wait. I'm gonna say, hey, Greg, I hope you're not sucking cock on meth. And if he tells me
Yeah.
he's not sucking cock on meth, I'm gonna tell him. And keep taking meth, my friends, and stay away from pills.
You should tell him that you think this song that he wrote sucks more cock than him for
Yeah.
meth. And
And
then tell him to join my page.
I'll get on his good side and tell him how I hate Chuck Billy because he's an Indian.
Yeah. Are you a fan of him as a bass player though? I mean, do you like his?
Great. He's great.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
they're
No.
all great. Skolnick's awesome. I like Louis. Louis got some shit. He was very Mars-ish in the early days. I liked him. I liked everybody that was in Testament. All of them.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll take the next song. Chase the second longest song on the album, Chasing Fear. To me, a chugging rocker with great bass from Greg. I think he adds a lot to this. And to me, this is what sums up the album. I mean, great flow and the way it goes back and forth. And, you know, here you got an instrumental, then you go into Chasing Fear. And I dig it. I think it's a great track. Something tells me, though, that Ralph thinks it's Disney thrash. I don't know. What do you say, Ralph?
It's bullshit thrash. It's the groove, man. The groove is back, and they're not Pantera, man. All these bands. See, the worst thing Pantera ever did was spawn these stupid new metal bands, but they also they're not to blame. But I'm just saying, there's so many. Overkill is very guilty of it, doing all these groove songs where it's like, dude, you're a thrash band. Stop trying to be Pantera. I mean.
Well, the funny thing, I think like the three most ripped off bands in fucking hard rock and heavy metal that have spawned bands that suck is Sabbath, Van Halen, and Pantera.
Yeah, Van Halen. Van Halen spawned shit like Warrant and crap like that, and that shit was still better than what Pantera spawned.
Yeah, but I mean, we would both agree we love Pantera, but the bands who took what they did and did very little with it is astronomical.
Van Halen is totally to blame for hair metal, 100%. But do I hate Van Halen because of it? That's out of their control. Yeah. It's not like they said, all right.
Well, I feel the same way. You know, there's a lot of bands. I know you're not a fan of this band, but I am a huge fucking fan of Faith No More. And a lot of bands that they spawned or that credit them as like, oh, we got inspiration. And what's funny is even they're like, oh, we hate these bands who claim that we inspired them, you know? So, yeah, I mean, there's shit that's original and new and just gets so fucking watered down. But, I mean, some do it right. Like I don't think this is... There's songs where, I can hear a Pantera influence, but there's songs that, I mean, bands that are much worse, you know, and did worse. Like, we're going to take one little aspect of what you did, be it something popular. You know, like the worst with Pantera was like the breakdown, you know. Like, look what Pantera did with the breakdown on Domination. That is a fucking breakdown. That is like a... Da-da-dun, da-da-dun, you know, that Domination breakdown. Look how many bands tried to make a career out of that, but did it so fucking horribly, you know, especially throughout the 90s. And ugh. But I like this song. You didn't. What do you think of the next song, Ride?
This is one of the greatest Testament songs ever again. And it's groove metal, but it is a badass song, though.
Wow.
I think it's killer. I think it's probably my third favorite after Low and Dogface Gods.
Dogface Gods.
I love Ride. But, you know,
nice.
I loved Kiss some of Carnival of Souls that it never goes away. It's like the most grungiest song Kiss ever did.
Yeah.
I say it's the greatest Paul Stanley performance on with A Million to One as far as the greatest vocal performances. And another side note, Paul Stanley was in a band with a guy that sucks cock and takes pills. I'll let you guess who that is at the end of the film.
Hold on. Let's see. No, that's not him. Hold on. I got a picture of him. If you see this cocksucker, put a dick in his mouth.
Well, yeah, but put stuff up his butt. That's his favorite.
Hold on. No, this is more accurate. Hold on. Let's see. See this guy? This guy right here. And
yeah, there you go.
See what he's doing? He's sucking his dick.
He's sucking Peter Chris's cock.
There you go, kids. There you go. And I would never buy those Funko Pops because that's gay as shit. That was a gift given to me. I want to buy it. Funko Pops are gay.
Yeah, you gotta see the YouTube version. Podbeam, Ian here, the Kiss twat, has the Kiss Funko Pops, and he just had really sucking the Peter Chris Funko Pop.
Yeah, watch them both. Help the anal rhythm. All right. Well, you liked Ride. Holy fucking shit.
I love it.
I love this one. To me, in my notes, I put fuck, not letting up, and god damn it, another thing I wanted to bring up about this album is the fucking mix and the production on this album. I think is awesome. It was produced by Garth, is how they write it. It's Garth Richardson, and he's worked with a wide range of artists from Testament to the Melvins, L7, Rage Against the Machine. He's done a lot of other shit. He's Canadian, so he's a nice guy. He's going to work with anybody. But the production on this is fucking awesome, and it's a mix by Michael Wagner, who we've met at Rockin' Pod. The sound of this album is fucking killer. Where I'm perplexed is on the last song, because I love it, but should it be the last song, or should Ride have been the one to close the last one out? That's where I go back and forth, because I love this last song, Ride. It's different. It's awesome at the same time. It's weird for Testament, but it sounds good. The fucking bass is fucking amazing. But I almost wish that this one came first and then Ride was at the end, because Ride would be the type of like, fuck, let me hit repeat. Not that this one's bad, but it's like, it just seemed a weird way to end it when you have two instrumentals on one album. What do you think of the last track there, Last Call?
Horrible. What a crappy way to finish this album, with some mellow bullshit. It's just like, I'm telling you, man, this shit is like power metal gay.
Oh, come on. It's not that gay.
Yes. This is Dungeons and Dragons thrash.
Oh. All right. Let me pee, and then we'll come back and close out the album.
Nickelodeon. Yeah, I know a lot of you like the Testament. I'll give you my explanation why I dislike bands like Testament and Anthrax and Overkill after Bobby Gustafson left, because I have no problem with him in the band, except for Under the Influence. I thought that album was kind of crappy. But Feel the Fire Taking Over and Year of Decay, I'm sorry, Overkill never made an album that kick-ass since. And they had to replace him with 2 guitar players. That's how badass Bobby is. And every time, it should be Overkill and Testament in the big 4. Fuck you. No, it shouldn't. Why do you want to add more Disney thrash? You already got Anthrax in the big four. Let's talk about like some real thrash, some ahead of its time thrash that was not following Metallica, like Sodom, Violence, Archangel, Xentrix. Listen to those thrash bands. They were doing something new. They weren't doing this generic crap that fucking Testament and Overkill has been doing for decades. I'm talking about man thrash. And I'll go more into it whenever. I don't know what my pick of the week's going to be, but it's going to be some real thrash, whatever the hell I pick. I'll start thinking about it now. And Ian, now that you're back, close out this crappy Disney thrash album. I'm sorry, Nickelodeon.
All right. Well, this album was released October 4th, 1994 on Atlantic Records, produced by Garth and Testament, engineered by the great Michael Wagner. I'm a big fan of this. A lot of people on the Facebook page are too. Ralph used to be a fan of it. Now he's not because he's a poser. Because only posers like something and then later they don't like it. That sounds like some poser shit to me.
Hey, man, fuck you, bro.
No, you're not. You're not allowed to change your opinion, man.
Hey, man, I'm the one that's into Manowar here.
Yeah. Okay. So you like to suck cock and take pills?
No, only cocksucking, no pills.
But no,
suck.
I'm a big fan of this. Are there any Testament albums post The Gathering that you like, and have you listened to them all?
Listen to them all, and when I saw Testament, what's the album with the snake, Brotherhood of the Snake, whatever it's called?
Yeah.
I bought that one when I saw them live because they had a box set there with two vinyls for $40. I was like, damn, all right, I'll get this. That album sucked, man. And
really? And what about Dark Roots? Dark Roots of the Earth. You don't like that?
I bought that one on compact disc. I think I still got it. No, man.
Okay.
It does nothing.
All right.
Anything after The Gathering, I haven't liked. And the last one with the guys filling water, whatever the fuck.
Well, the last time I got to see these guys, it was a fucking trip. Got to see me. It was fucking Death Angel, Testament, and Exodus. Yeah, that's when I got to hang out with Will Carroll. Poor guy, he had to suffer me all night. I was pretty drunk, but hey, I paid for his tequila, so he got out all right. But no, it was cool. I sat there, me and Will Carroll up in the fucking balcony watching Testament. I thought it was a pretty goddamn good show. I watched Testament with goddamn Kirk Weinstein from Crowbar. Seen Testament a bunch of times. Saw Testament open up for Iron Maiden on the Fear of the Dark tour. I love this band, man. This is my kind of thrash, man. Them and Overkill, I'll take over a majority of the big four when you go for like discography. I think there's something to be said for these thrash bands that didn't make it. I just think they try harder and they stay truer to what they do. They don't try to go as commercial as much because they know, like, even if they do, it ain't gonna fucking matter. So they just fucking keep it real. I dig it, but whatever. Ace Frehley sucks cock, Look at this.
And takes pills. That's the bad part. Sucking cock's not bad. It's taking pills. Bad.
And don't just take my word for it. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is in real time.
Yeah, well.
What? Here we go.
Ace is sucking Peter Chris's dick now on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. We have proof. We have video proof of this. And this episode's going to do awesome. Even if people watch 30 seconds of it. Like, hey, I came to see porno.
They need to make a Sinking Stanley Funko Pop so it can join in the three-way.
What do we got? Sinking Stanley? I got a Sinking Stanley here. Okay, so we got Sinking Stanley. And we got Gene Simmons, he's just gonna watch. He's not getting paid for this, so he's
Yeah,
just gonna sit over here.
sit over there and jack off to it.
Okay, but I think these two guys, and Peter Chris. There we go.
But notice, Peter Chris ain't gay because he doesn't look down.
Yeah. And you know what the fucked up thing is? Like, here's Paul Stanley. Paul Stanley knows how to do this to Peter Chris. Steve Brown had to show this guy how to do it. You know, that's even worse. That's it. The guy from Trickster had to show Ace Frehley how to suck cock.
Nobody gave Ace Frehley the memo that Trickster sucks. Obviously.
You know, and you know, a lot of people knew this shit for years. And that's why John Reagan, you know, died. He's like, I'm gonna check out before this shit, you know, gets made public, because he was embarrassed to be in a band with a cocksucker. You know.
That takes
pills.
Yeah.
All right, well, now let's go into pick of the week. Ralph, do you already have a pick of the week?
I gotta think of a real thrash album.
Okay, all right. I'm going to go into my pick of the week. It has nothing to do with thrash. Nothing to do with thrash. And in fact, this is a blind pick of the week, because I haven't had time to listen to it yet. But yet I know it is so fucking awesome. I have no problems recommending that. And that is the recently released this week Blue Oyster Cult album, 50th anniversary, Second Night, where they do Tyranny and Mutation in its entirety. You know, and then they do, like, I think 9 other songs, 9 other hits, which is cool. I mean, it's kind of like, I'm looking at the set list. Of course, you're never going to see a Blue Oyster Cult show where they don't play Godzilla or Don't Fear the Reaper, but they mix in some other different shit. But I just know it's good. I don't even have to listen to it. I know it's going to be fucking awesome because I love that fucking album. And I know this is a band that can still perform at a high level live. The current lineup is fucking amazing. And I am so looking forward to, I know we got to space it out. Well, you know, actually we don't even have to do it because there's no fucking rules. But I know we've done some Blue Oyster Cult episodes recently. We've done the fucking album ranking. We did the you know, that horrible Ghost Stories album. But I want to do one with the amazing Heather Drain. You know, Heather Drain has been a listener of ours for years, been on the Facebook page. You know, might not be the most active, but I know she's like old school fan. But this girl is doing amazing on like all these like she's doing commentaries and like special shit and everything. And she's so fucking amazing. And one of her, you know, she goes, oh, my dream would be to come on our show, which is funny because she's way more popular than us. But she's like, oh, my dream would be to come on Rock and Metal Combat Podcast and do like Spectres, or, you know, she named another Blue Oyster Cult album. I'm like, well, fuck yeah. Because she fucking rocks. So we got to do a Blue Oyster Cult Spectres episode with her soon.
There's many reasons I love Heather Drain. You know what my number one reason is why I love that?
What's that?
She's not an Indian.
that and she's not on pills.
Yeah.
All right. Ralph, what's your pick of what's your manly thrash?
Yeah, all right. Let me set this up because maybe you'll understand it. Why I look at your thrash bands like the way I do.
Okay.
81, I became a huge Motorhead fan. Huge.
Mm-hmm.
Gateway band. As far as, I need to find shit this dirty and fast. Then I found Venom.
Hell yeah.
I found stuff. I'm talking about before Kill 'Em All. You know? I found all these bands, Merciful Fate, Venom, Raven, all these bands I discovered before thrash came into the picture. So I was already into the underground shit.
Right.
And when Kill 'Em All came out, I mean, that changed everything. Everything. Where you didn't have that many Merciful Fate, Venom, Raven kind of clones. But boy, after Metallica came, there was a shit load of clones. Overkill was guilty of it, Anthrax, Testament. And I look at those bands and I think to myself, do I love some of their albums? Don't get me wrong. But I just think to myself, this ain't enticing me like originality would entice me. And when it came to thrash, there was originality. And it wasn't these bands. So I was already primed for bands like Violence, bands like Center, bands like Toxic, bands like just a million. But I gotta say, up there with Rain and Blood and Eternal Nightmare as the greatest thrash album ever made.
Razor from Canada.
Awesome band. And and that band's more intriguing to me too, because they have their own sound. Fuck, man, that's a all Violent Resolution. Evil Invader. You kidding me? That's awesome shit. But that's not my pick of the week. I'm gonna put an album that's even greater than those albums. And the only albums to me to rival it are Rain and Blood and Eternal Nightmare from Violence. And my pick of the week is Darkness Descends from That is my thrash. You know, if I want to hear Metallica, I'll listen to Metallica. That ain't no Metallica shit. There ain't nothing accessible about it. You know,
you're right.
It's just pure 100% thrash without preservatives and originality. Darkness Descends by Dark Angel is the greatest thrash album with Rain and Blood and Eternal Nightmare. I will put it above any album from the Big Four except for Rain and Blood.
I gotta check it out again. I mean, that's something.
It's dirty. It's anti-Testament thrash. It's not Testament type thrash.
Well, no, I know their importance, and I'm trying to remember because I know I've listened to them a couple of times, and I can't remember what it was that turned me off about it. I don't know if it was the singer. You know, I'd hate to say it was the drummer because Hoagland's fucking amazing. But I remember when I was younger, there were certain like thrash drummers that the drumming took me out of it. That was a big thing when I first got into thrash. Sometimes the drummer it was so offbeat to my sensibility of what a drummer did. It would take me out of it. And even bands that I love now were in that category. But I need to check it out again. But I remember like listening to it and there was something about it where I was like, and I can't remember. Like, I know exactly what it is with Violence. It's Sean Killian. It's that, because the guitars I love, the bass, the drumming, everything. That's like fucking awesome thrash. And then I hear that, and I'm like, gone. But I can't.
That's what I love the most about Violence.
No, and that's, dude, I get that. And again, dude, the first time I listened to fucking King Diamond, it was his vocals that like took me out of it. Now I love King Diamond's vocals. When I first heard fucking Overkill, it was Blitz. I was like, no. And now Overkill's one of my favorite fucking metal bands. You know, so it's something, maybe later on I'll get it. Maybe something will click one day. And I can't sit here and tell you because I honestly can't remember what it was. But this was like early, you know, us doing the podcast. You talked about Dark Angel. And I knew about him, you know. I remember seeing the ads, you know, that classic with the fucking tombstone and everything. It's iconic, you know. But I remember listening to it and there was something that fucking took me out of it. But who knows? Maybe now I'll listen to it and everything will fucking line up, or, you know, or I'll say, fuck that. I like that white Disney fucking Testament, you know?
It's like you dealing with people that love the Black Album. Because you were there before the Black Album. And it's like I was there before Disney thrash.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
Praise Testament and Overkill is no different than you hearing somebody praise the Black Album.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, and I get that too. Because that, it's the perfect analogy because I was a Metallica fan before that, and I know what it was afterwards. The same way, like you must feel, like with, I mean, hundreds of other bands. You came up on a certain era, and you can't accept what came after. I'm the same way. Fuck that way with Van Halen, Van Hagar.
Yeah, there you
But
go. Another thing, it'd be like when you talk about Testament and Overkill, is the same way somebody would talk to you about how they like Hagar more than Roth.
yeah.
Same shit.
So, but no, I will give. I mean, because I have those albums, I need to check them out. I still love. I think it's one of the greatest fucking like ads ever for an album. What was the one after Darkness Descends where they said it had the most riffs ever?
Leave scars.
Yeah, yeah, they're like has the
A
most
lot, a
riffs
lot
ever.
of people, a lot of people like Leave Scars more than Darkness Descent. It is different singers, but I'm more of a Darkness Descent guy. But goddamn, Leave Scars is amazing.
Is it because of the singer or because of the songs?
No, no, the songs are all top notch. The singer, actually, I actually like the singer more on Leave Scars than Darkness Descends, but I love Dean Dart. I love Dean's voice and Darkness Descent music. I like a little, not much more, a little more. I mean, Leave Scars is very close.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I'll check it out again, man. Because like I said, shit changes, and
Yeah.
you can call it poser or whatever. But like, remember when I bought fucking Rain and Blood? I fucking hated it, and now like I'll take Slayer over any of the big four. You know?
Me too. Slayer is the
Yeah.
best of the big four. No doubt.
It's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean,
And
you deal with reality. Look, I'm going to deal with reality, and this is my own personal opinion, but reality is reality. To me,
yeah,
my favorite Slayer is Metal Blade Slayer. The best thing they ever did is Show No Mercy, especially Honey
yeah,
and LOH. But I can't lie to myself. Those are my favorites, but the best is Rain and Blood. That's their
right,
best album. Even
right.
though I like other albums more, that's their best fucking album.
Well, even like Slayer, a huge Slayer fan. There was a time when I didn't like the Metal Blade Slayer. It was too raw for me. It was too like, eh. And now as I get older, I appreciate it more. Like even I think I got Show No Mercy a lot sooner than I got Hell Awaits. Show No Mercy was way easier for me to get into once I got more into Slayer than fucking Hell Awaits. And now I'm like, fuck, Hell Awaits. Man, I hear like the Merciful Fate and all the other shit, and it's like, why did I can't tell you why it didn't register with me. I can only be honest that at some point it didn't, and now it does. And now it makes perfect sense, and now like Hell Awaits is in my top 5 Slayer songs of all time, but there was a time where I was like, that's not my Slayer. And now it's totally my Slayer. Shit changes, man. Taste evolve. And I'm glad for that. I'm glad for that because the shit that I loved when I was fucking 16, I've got in my opinion, I've got much better taste now than I did back then. And there is still stuff that I love from that time. And the same with Kiss. I still love old school Kiss. And there's still all this great shit, but I realize that there's better music out there. But timeline's everything. There's something like anytime I listen to Animalize, it takes me back to a place in time. Or I'm not Animalize, Asylum. There's a lot better albums than a fucking Asylum. But that was my gateway into everything that I listen to now comes from Asylum. Everything.
There's not many albums in my world better than Kiss Alive. Not many. There are, but not many.
Yeah. Oh, I love Kiss Alive. I love it. I don't care if it's
the greatest albums ever.
Hey, if I'm sucking dick and I'm popping pills, I know what album I'm putting on.
No, Ace Frehley doesn't listen Alive anymore because he popped pills and sucks cock.
Cocksucker. All right, well, now it's time to go into fan of the week. And I would like to dedicate this to a longtime listener of this show. He is a huge Testament fan. He's a big fan of this album and our show and Testament in general. Edwin Canistracci,
I love
who
that dude. That dude's awesome.
he's awesome. He's done great with, he's got the podcast with Eric RMCP. He does his own YouTube channels. He does all this shit.
I had him on Almost Human Live to talk about AC/DC's Fly on the Wall and Blow Up Your Video.
Yeah, two shitty albums.
Two shitty albums, yeah.
And one that I love. I love Blow Up Your Video. I know it's.
I like that one more than Fly on the Wall for sure.
Oh, I do too. But I realize that I love Blow Up Your Video because that was the first AC/DC album that I waited for it to come out. Like the first AC/DC album I ever bought was Who Made Who. I waited for Blow Up Your Video. I had the poster on my wall of the Angus on the fucking nuclear warhead and shit, And I can listen to those songs and I know they're fucking horrible, but I can listen to Two's Up and I'm like, oh my God. And this means war.
That's my favorite on there.
Oh man, I listen to that shit and I'm like, holy fuck, it just takes me back to a time and place. But I realize, like, you listen to that, you listen to fucking Power Ridge, you're like, not the same. Not even close, but nothing. I can still listen to it and appreciate it. And
you know what? I heard this the other day on my walk. Listen to my iPod Shuffle. Man, one of the greatest Brian Johnson songs, talk about underrated. I don't think it's ever been played live. Is Snowballed.
Love Snowballed.
No, it's not Snowballed. Snowball's on for those about to rock, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of Spellbound.
Spellbound. Oh my God, that's one of my favorite tracks on that album.
That's on Flick of the Switch, right?
No, it's on For Those About to Rock.
Damn it, what's the song, man?
Yeah, and my world keeps on tumbling down.
Snowballed. No?
What's that? Spellbound. That's Spellbound.
Snowball. Go type in Flick of the Switch. It's the last track on side one.
All right, hold on.
Man, it's like one of the greatest Brian Johnson songs. I was like, God damn, this song is so good.
I love Spellbound's one of my favorite, but hold on.
What ends side one?
AC/DC.
I think it starts with an S.
Discography. Flick of the Switch. Last song on Flick of the Switch is Brain Shake.
No, side one.
Landslide.
That's the one. Landslide, man. That's one of the greatest Brian Johnson songs ever.
But yeah. No, I thought you were right the first time, though. Yes, there is a Snowballed and there is a Spellbound on For Those About to Rock. And the funny thing is, they both end their sides. Snowballed is the last song on side one, and Spellbound's the last song on side two.
Well, those are good songs, too. I like those songs as well.
Yeah. But, oh, God, Spellbound. That's... love that shit. That's one of the reasons that I prefer fucking For Those About to Rock. Even though you're absolutely right, Back in Black is a better album.
It's like what I was saying earlier about Slayer. Yeah, you may like For Those About to Rock more, but Back in Black is the supreme.
Right. But yeah, I love, God, do I love For Those About to Rock.
A lot of people suffer that with either For Those About to Rock or Flick of the Switch. Either one of those two are better than Back in Black to a lot of people.
Yeah, but it's one of those, like, opinions vary, but if you want to know if somebody sucks cocks and takes pills, then you'll be like, what's your favorite Def Leppard? If they say Hysteria, they suck cock and take pills. You know,
Yeah,
if they mention any of the other first three, you're like, okay, they're all right. You know,
yeah. If
they're cool
anybody
people.
says they like 10,000 volts, they suck cock and take pills.
There you go.
No offense, Tim Bream.
Tim Bream definitely sucks cock. He
Well,
sucks Ace's cock.
he likes 10,000 volts, man. You know, he would have liked it no matter what it sounded like. It's so piss poor. It's like, I like
Dude, he got a sore on his lip. And I said, get some Valtrex. And he's like, no, I'm just going to take some cherry medicine.
it.
I'm like, you fucking fag.
You rule, Tim Bream. I'm just goofing around with the truth.
Yeah, we love you. And we love all you gay motherfuckers out there.
Yeah.
We love gay people.
Yeah.
You know what I miss? I miss gay people. Now everybody's like pronouns and identifies and transition. Whatever happened just being gay? Just be gay.
My pronouns are fuck and you.
I got 3. That's how fucked up. My pronouns are David, Lee, and Roth. You fucking motherfuckers. And I wear assless chaps with pride. But I don't suck cock and take pills like Ace Frehley. That fucking faggot. All right. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, come back next week. We are going to get a time set up, and we will announce it on the Facebook page. We're going to do a live show next week. It's going to be your questions. You guys talk to us. We'll talk about whatever you know, whatever you do. And so there you go. All right, Ralph. Well, till next week, brother.
Schmack 'em a gob and everybody out there. It's all right to suck cock, but don't take pills. Later.
Fags. All right, brother. Next week.